Hi everyone, welcome to Resident Evil Requiem, the spoiler cast. Just kidding, no, welcome to Burnout Culture. Everything sucks, especially in the games industry after these meteoric announcements and departures from various organizations. But you know, we don't suck as much as that. My name is Kazuma Hashimoto, and I'm one of three fantastic hosts, and I literally mispronounced my own name.
And also, we don't have three.
Oh my god, we're four!
We're four today.
It's okay.
I'm like a half host. It's okay.
No,
you literally
I'm
are
like
not.
host. I'm literally barely here these days.
I mean, if you're both half, then we do have three.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah.
Yeah, Hayes and I like stuck together like some weird malformed creature.
That's pretty apt.
I would shoot the big glowing eyeball like weakness on you as I'm running around with all my 500 shotgun shells.
I love that. So which one of us is the worms and the other one is the white supremacist?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess there's an answer. One of us is the more obvious answer there, I feel like.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm GC, another host on this incredible podcast.
Hi, I'm Cullen. Here, you could hit the start button and go, Burnout Culture, and the piano riff goes.
Oh, I love that. GC, can you make Cullen's voice like reverberate? Like,
yeah,
wow, when he says that. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, wow,
Okay.
wow.
And then do the piano, like the Burnout. Wait, actually, they don't do that anymore. I just realized.
What?
No,
Do they really
don't.
not do that anymore?
No.
They stopped with Resident Evil 6.
Burnout Culture.
4 remakes.
Burnout Culture.
I don't know if for
I don't think 4 remakes.
Okay, so like, I feel like I need to, when we talk about these Resident Evil remakes, I need to preface that every time I have reviewed and scored one, people have sent me death threats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Resident
Evil fans need to fucking relax. So this new generation of Resident Evil fans, before we really get into the meat of it, I kind of want to like tell you guys and like ask if you have been seeing this, because when Resident Evil 9 spoilers are out, we're not going to dive too deep into them. We're going to vaguely talk about some shit. But have you seen that the new Resident Evil fans, they're all mostly all heterosexual, are like tearing themselves apart like the fucking Claris and Clotey wars of like 1998?
No, I don't look at them. I do not perceive fans. It's great.
So basically there's like a huge thing going on right now because of one spoiler that the fandom is like literally ripping itself apart.
We talking like Kiwami 3 rip apart, or is it like
we're talking about people attacking each other and threatening to kill each other.
Clarith and Clotey is a pretty good example of that. That fandom.
So the Resident Evil fandom is having that moment right now. And I think, Hayes, you should really look into it because it's fucking insane.
I haven't seen
if you want to
that.
see how bad it is right now.
I've been like so head down in work, I haven't seen that, but I should. Yeah, I'll look it up.
It's kind of crazy. The Reddit, the Reset Era thread, apparently Tumblr and like X are just, you cannot engage in any discussion regarding the game because of it. It's actually pretty fascinating to watch this series that historically has had really no shipping in it versus like Ada and Leon or like Claire and Leon now just suddenly combust because of one very minor thing in that game. So, you know, I was telling somebody about this and I was like, oh, that's so sad. But, you know, not my circus, not my fucking clowns, because I'm gay. So I'm just sitting here on the outside like, this is insane to watch.
The only person you should ship Leon with is your favorite shotgun of choice. You should like that's what you should be engaging with this.
How about your favorite tie-in vehicle?
Ooh, okay. The new one's pretty good.
His Porsche.
The Ducati.
Yeah. Ducati's good. His new Porsche is pretty good though.
I was like, damn, I kind of want to sell my house and then
you
get
need
the
to
Leon
ship Leon with
Porsche.
his haircuts.
They're all this. Yeah, you know what? They're not all the same, but they're all the same. You know.
I'm glad he never he always stuck with it.
I will say I like his 9 hair. I really like it.
It is. It's very nice. I want to play with it.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Cullen. So, speaking of Resident Evil 9, Hayes will have a review come out. I think by the time this podcast goes up, definitely go read it. Cullen will have impressions.
Not
So he'll have
like
something coming out.
yeah. They sent it to us at RPG site. And we were like, you read about RPGs, right? And they're like, here, take it. And we were like, all right, well, we'll write something. And as of this exact moment, I sure will write something. I'm not done yet, but I'll write something.
I'm very excited about that. Yeah, so GC, I don't know how you're a scared little baby, so I don't know how deep you are into Resident Evil. I have to make you play more Resident Evil games.
Resident Evil, similar to Silent Hill for me, is one of those things that I always appreciated from afar, but was too scared to play. So I read a bunch of wikis about them and the games and stuff. So, excuse me. So I have a general gist of like how all of those games kind of play out, and I have some understanding of the world building. But anything from like 5 onward, I'm just kind of like oblivious to.
I feel like 5 was probably like the actual true ending of the series, but I realized something. Hayes, you didn't introduce yourself because I rudely cut you off.
Oh, I thought I did.
You did?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we did. We were half the host.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
The unfortunate half.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm the worms. Yeah, sorry for anyone wondering why like I'm gonna be insane this podcast. I've been in Europe for the past week with our own resident artist, Jake Mueller.
Artists.
Yes.
Resident artist.
Yeah. So this is I'm recording at a wildly different time than the other 3 guys. So
yeah.
Yeah, so Resident Evil 9. We can't talk story spoilers because when you write about video games, as I think I kind of touched upon with the question that Cullen read and channeled me through last episode, was that when you are beholden to writing about video games up until the embargo for story spoilers lift, you cannot put them in your review if you are not a large enough publication, or you will get blacklisted. Which means you probably won't get work anymore. And I feel like I need to state that because there's been a lot of discussion about whether or not people should be putting spoilers in reviews, being beholden to the actual rules of the embargoes. And I just want to let people that like know that listen to this, that unless you're like a really major publication and you don't have to give a fuck about any of that because you'll be guaranteed a code anyways, sometimes people just can't say shit. Like they literally can't say shit. And we don't want to ruin Hayes's and Cullen's reputation or repertoire relationship with Capcom, so we will not be talking heavy spoilers until like 2 weeks from now or something.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So, Resident Evil 9 is a fucking trip.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
It's
don't
a
even know
very
how
Resident Evil game.
Yes,
is the best way to say it.
It is a Resident Evil game released in the modern era of Capcom Resident Evil games.
So to clarify, because I had to clarify, so I was on Chris Plant's podcast, Post Games.
Oh yeah.
And he actually had my like how to best play the Resident Evil game section after an interview with Paul W.S. Anderson, and I nearly threw up when I found that out because I was like, huh? But to clarify, if you don't know what Resident Evil is or the series, basically there is a pre-mold and a post-mold timeline that involves the remakes where the lore deviates so wildly that you have basically 3 different types of Resident Evil. You have the classic Resident Evil, which goes up to 5. You have the Revelation series, which is sort of falls more in the line of like your really campy Code Veronica 0 sort of games. And then you have the post-mold series, which is 7, 8, 2 remake, 3 remake, 4 remake, 8, 9 in terms of like them being tonally different, but like 9 really feels like a Revelations game.
I don't think about it often enough because I don't really have any reason to, but like I think Resident Evil is one of my favorite series of all time. Like it's
great.
It's that kind of like enjoyment though, where it's like whatever you guys are doing, I'm kind of just here for it. Not in like it's a critical masterpiece. It's amazing how beautiful and wonderfully crafted. It's just kind of like I always love when Resident Evil takes a trip to the garbage factory, and it kind of just like becomes a huge mess of itself. So like even in that like 2010s era with like the 6 and the Revelations, I'm kind of just like I think they're fun.
Did you play Revelations 2?
No, that's the only one I have not
Like
played.
Revelations 2.
You would fucking love Revelations 2, Cullen.
I didn't really like Revelations 1. That's
If you
the
want to
thing.
talk about like
Dude, no, Revelations 2
weird ass
is
story
fucking
shit,
goofy as
man,
hell.
Revelations 2 gets fucking weird.
Okay.
Yeah, that T Phobos virus is fucking insane. Like, I don't know how to tell you this other than mind transference becomes possible because of that game.
Oh my
It also,
god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it also
okay.
it plays a bit differently than Revelations 1 as well, if you didn't really like Revelations
Yes.
1 for whatever reason.
Play it with your girlfriend
and
because
Barry's
it's only,
in it.
it's only couch co-op.
Yeah.
I don't want to put her through that.
Little Barry.
Barry's in it, and he looks like he's pissed off that he's in it, and I like it. I like that about it.
I love it that he's like, hey, don't curse. Like, literally, he's
Yeah.
like, no swear words, young lady. And I'm like, oh, Barry, I love you.
But Requiem is interesting. It is a very hard game to talk about, I think. Like it's I think anyone saying that this is like anyone jumping to say this is peak or anything similar to that, like hype beast language, which I'm I can engage in on occasion. I don't think that's this game.
No.
Having said that, I really like it so far. But I do have some qualms I can't talk about yet.
Mm-hmm. Like it
and
is
a lot
fun.
of it's that second half.
It is a fun Resident Evil, but I agree with you that I'm curious to see if there's going to be some people that have language like that, because it ostensibly kind of is like joining of the 7-8 gameplay style and the remake 6 gameplay style.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like your the first half does feel like a bit of an iteration on 7 and 8. And then after that it feels like Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
Wait,
or I think more in line with 6, honestly.
Yeah, definitely
this is
more
like Resident Evil 6 2.0.
Leon flash steps. Yeah, Leon literally flash steps in and so I always want to call it Revelations in RE9. Secretly Revelations 3 or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I think the big thing, like you said, I get the feeling that this was originally intended as a spin-off game. Revelations or something else.
Didn't Dust Golem talk about it like a couple of years ago, that there was like a spin-off game that was like then consolidated into something else?
I think so, yeah. I can also kind of see there were rumors of it being open world, and I can kind of see the threads of like maybe it wasn't open world at one point, but I can see where those rumors came from.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like a big section of Leon's stuff
that we can't talk about until like 2 weeks from now, in which she'll get a Resident Evil cast part 2.
But like it's really interesting. As someone who's like, fond of the first person games, I felt like decently fed with the gray stuff. Like when you're in the the care center, you're like walking around, stealthing around, trying to figure out this big puzzle box. So far, like my biggest thing with this one is that there are like it's less focused on characters in a way that I think that the modern era of games really works well with, if only because it's just fun to see the like the Resident Evil caricatures quip at each other. Like it's just fun. And this is a very like isolated experience in like both Leon and Grace's parts that I wasn't really expecting, I guess.
It does come together a little more. In what you still have to play. So I'm interested to see what you think at the end. But overall, that is kind of the vibe.
How often do they curse? How often do they curse in this game?
I'd say there's a good amount.
Okay,
Not
cool.
like
So it's still
well,
that line of writing then. All right.
it's not like all over the place, but you know, if like a giant monster's running after Gray, she will go like, oh fuck, 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 like you know, something like she'll like get panicked.
Yeah.
But it's not
Leon
like
has a couple F-bombs, I think, too, where something happens and he's
yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
That's something that I've really hated. I know it's just like a small gripe or whatever. With like the newer writing, they're a lot more liberal in their use of like expletives, TM. And it's just really like, I don't know, that really was never the line of writing for the series, even in like the Japanese like translations of it. Because I think, if I recall correctly, these games are actually written in English first and then translated into Japanese. At least they used to be.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry, I have like a lot of latent Resident Evil knowledge. That was like my special interest when I was 12. Um, and it remained my special interest up until I think RE6. Fun fact, listeners, I met Jake through playing RE6.
That makes
Wow.
sense.
Yeah, we met playing Chris's multiplayer campaign back when I was a worse person and hated Chris Redfield. Um I got better. I'm a better person now.
That's good. I'm glad you recovered.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I can just see him type. Yeah, he's literally DMing me right now and he's like, I changed you. Yeah. But but yeah, that's like I don't know, it feels like really immature writing. And I'm not saying Resident Evil is like a quote unquote mature series, but I feel like it detracts from like a lot of really tense moments. But I'm more of a PS2, PS1 survival horror kind of person. So I don't know. When I learned about a lot of stuff from RE9 though, I knew, Cullen, that you would absolutely love specific moments in this game, and I think you're gonna love the ending just for how far it goes.
Okay, because that is the thing. With my Resident Evil games, I like them to like, you know, freak me out, scare me a good amount, and then at that end, I want my big cathartic moment. Um, and like pretty much by the
Oh, it
time you get to the end, I want like it to just because I think that's what makes the Resident Evil games work so much is that like in the ones that really do try to like scare you or like freak you out, you always get that moment of just like
mhm.
it's like horror shonen almost. It just balls to the wall,
Yeah.
crazy like shit. I still think like you know, RE3 remake has a lot of problems. I really like it despite that, but like that ending is one of the most like fun Resident Evil moments, I think. Like the action set piece you do in the final boss.
Yeah.
Where I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh, that's fucking dumb. All right, I'm here for it. Sure. So like I'm hoping it just does something like that. So far, the modern era hasn't really failed me on like ending set pieces yet. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
curious where I'm gonna land because I think out of all of us, I do engage in hype beast culture the most. And
Mhm.
despite that, I would not say this is like on like the top of my my modern Resident Evil like tier list.
No, I don't think it will be, but I think, and Hayes, maybe you can also have a feel for this too,
Mhm.
because you've beaten it and everything. But some of the stuff in the end is so unbelievably
Oh
dumb.
my god. Yeah.
It like goes to new heights for Resident Evil in ways that, again, we'd have to spoil everything, and we can't, but not yet. But it is by far, and I'm talking about this as somebody whose favorite Resident Evil game is Resident Evil 0, and the final boss in that game is a collective of leeches that basically sink through opera singing and shit. It's really stupid.
That's badass.
This is a new height
Yeah.
for the series. This is
Okay.
literally a new height for the
Being
series.
as vague as possible, this is a lore ending. Like it is really steeped in like series lore and all the bullshit that's come before.
I'm
Mhm.
excited for like
So if you're into that,
that at
man, like
least.
there's good stuff.
I think and I can't get into this too much. I think one of my problems with the game so far is that it's like it it seems a bit too interested in nostalgia. And
Mhm.
I think I can at least say that
Yeah.
given what people have seen in
Mhm.
trailers.
Yeah, it's a little too heavy on that. I was admittedly a little disappointed with, by comparison to Leon, like Grace is so mired in all of the shit that came before that I think at some point she just kind of stops feeling like her own character.
Yeah. Well, wanna like I wanna
I
get
want to say what it
further
is, but I can't. Yeah.
to like fully see where it goes because I don't want to write it off entirely yet.
There's a lot of
But I
nostalgia
see
bait
it.
in this game, and
Yes.
there are a couple pieces of it that I like, and then most of it that I kind of think feels pretty forced.
And it's just weird because I was talking to Hayes about this in our Discord here. But like we've been like the Resident Evil series has been in nostalgia for some time now. Like we're
For too long, in my opinion.
I and like this was the chance to like move on a little bit. Like I guess it's like if like even if I don't like the nostalgia stuff like overall, but I do end up liking the game, I'll be like, okay, cool, this is the last one you get though.
Mhm.
Like after this game, I don't know if I want to see any more remakes. I just want to see something new because like it like yes, I would probably play like another Resident Evil remake, but like this is kind of like where we do need new ideas. And I think ultimately for the series, like new, that is why I liked Village, because Village was like, yeah, you know all that other stuff, fantasy horror, like just we're just doing things that have never been done in Resident Evil before. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And this is more like, you remember the remakes? You like remakes?
I think we're definitely going to get one more game, and it's going to be a Jill and Chris game, and then hopefully we will never fucking see those characters again, because as somebody who really likes Resident Evil, at the end of Resident Evil 6, I was really fucking excited for them to move the fuck on from some of those characters. Okay, this is going to sound really hateful. I never wanted to see Leon ever again. I was fucking sick of seeing his face. And he's really not in so many games, if you think about it. He was
Yeah.
really only in like 2 and 4 up until that point. Unless you want to count Gaiden, but Gaiden is not real and Gaiden does not exist. But it would have been really fucking funny if they actually used some plot points from Gaiden. That would have been really fucking hilarious if they canonized Gaiden the way that they did Umbrella Corps. But like, I was over it. I also ended up liking Chris in that game, but I don't want to see him anymore. He's hot, but I don't want to see him. Get him out of there. He's like 65 now.
I feel the
get him
same
out of
way.
the
Yeah.
games.
I'm
About
okay with them
Leon.
like referencing
Exactly.
him or something, like just passively in dialogue. Like, oh yeah, Chris
They should
said,
have let that old gay man retire and just written him off, put him on the farm with all the one-off characters.
I do like that if you think about it, Resident Evil Village is an idiot plot, and the idiot is Chris Redfield. And all the scenes where they're like, hey, why'd you do all that to Ethan? You could have talked to him, and he just doesn't say anything.
mm-hmm.
So, because Resident Evil 8 is written by totally different writers, it doesn't even follow the consistency and like things that were already established in 5 regarding the BSAA being like a splinter cell of Tricell, which is actually Umbrella. So it kind of disregards all of the lore. So him finding out that the BSAA is like fucked up, I'm like, okay, I guess he never got the memo, even though he was there in the cutscene when they said it.
Cause
I guess he just got hit in the head.
He forgore.
Yeah.
Chris Redfield forgore.
I said maybe he got hit in the head, but he really did get hit in the head in 6, so I'm a fucking idiot. Anyways, Hayes, your experience with this game.
I like it overall. I don't know what score I'm giving it. I don't know how I'm going to decide that. I don't like scores in the first place, but I agree with Cullen that I wouldn't put it in like my top of the modern era, but I think it's fun overall. Like gameplay wise, I like almost everything. There's a couple little things I don't like, but story wise, there are things that I like. I think Leon is pretty fun. I think he's pretty in line with the remake interpretations of him specifically.
Yeah.
And I, obviously I'm not going to say like, oh, this is an incredibly well written game, but
It's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
You could just say it's stupid
it
as
is,
hell.
yeah. But Leon's stuff is fun, and I think it's not super complex, but there's a certain layer of like him grappling with his past that I do kind of find compelling, honestly.
There are parts of it, like there are certain bits of it where I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll admit you got me.
Yeah. And then you hit the ending and is like, I beat this game and I thought about it for like 3 hours before I really decided how I felt. Because there's just there's some real bullshit that happens in the last part.
It's so it's just a oh my god. And okay, people would be like, oh, dumb fun video game. It is not Stranger of Paradise dumb. It is like it's a whole different brand
It's a Resident Evil game.
of just insane.
I think
but it goes so much further. Would you say it goes further than Revelations 2 Haze with
Oh,
the
yeah.
T-Phobos shit?
Yeah,
and
100%.
Natalia?
Yeah. And I mean,
Oh my
it,
god.
it kind of like
okay.
it kind of builds on Revelations 2. There's a lot of like story elements that really build on what Revelations 2 did. It's kind of surprising how important Revelations 2 is, honestly. But I guess my overall feeling is like it's good Resident Evil. It's not great Resident Evil.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'm having like that's the thing. That's why I'm so conflicted is I am having a blast when I'm playing the video game. And there's just a couple of things every once in a while where I'm like, oh, that could have been better. Or, why'd we do that?
I think my biggest disappointment is Grace. Not because I don't like her, because I do like her, and I don't feel like anything really happens with her. Interest that like is compelling.
I know exactly what you mean when you say that, and I think Cullen will know exactly what you mean when he gets there.
Yeah, I'm curious because there's a couple moments I think that have like compelled me a little bit in that first chunk because basically like for those to have everyone peek behind the curtain a little bit. For embargoes, Grace, like the Grace's part of the game, the care center is free game. You're gonna see a lot of people talk about that bit in particular. And I think overall that chunk, like it's not like the best character writing. There's stuff that I think was like, oh, that's interesting, or I can see what they're doing there. But ultimately, I don't think the first chunk has enough meat on its bones. And I think once the dust settles, everyone's going to be talking about that second half of the game.
That's what was a little disappointing to me too, because for context, the care center is what everyone played in the previews.
Yeah,
that whole section was all the preview.
What do you think
content.
about that? By the way, like kind of like what they changed, what or like okay, let me back up a little bit. Considering the general like puzzle box framework of 7 and 8, and we can use it like the manor part, and then also like
house.
the Baker House, and then Castle Demistru, or however you say that. Like those kind of Domitre, you know. Dematicus, whatever. Like that, like do you think this is a side grade gameplay wise, an upgrade, a downgrade? Like kind of where are you at on that?
I'd say I put it kind of in the middle. Like I like the Baker House a lot. Thematically and like narrative wise, and then puzzle mechanic wise. So I'd probably put this in between like the Baker House and Castle Dimitrescu. Because I do like Castle Dimitrescu, but I just feel like it doesn't quite nail that like puzzle box feeling as well.
It's
the Baker
Castle
House.
Dimitrescu is too it's
too
linear, too straightforward, right?
Yeah,
it's way too linear, and also my memories of Castle Dimitrescu are forcibly unspawning all the girls by just simply going through doors. Which kind of kills the tension of everything.
Yeah, and I feel like the lines of like, especially with like the pursuer characters, right? Like, I think Lady Dimitrescu is one of the worst of that because she just like it's so incredibly easy to just run around her, or you can just run into a room, also, and I feel like the lines of it. Good Resident Evil with pursuer characters is when like you don't know when and where they're going to get you. But Castle Dimitrescu there are very clear lines of it being a game. Like, oh, I can go in this door and it's going to stop.
It's also because Resident Evil 8 is very much like it's a roller coaster of like different types of horror film basically or genre. So it feels way too short. It should have been a lot longer in my opinion, for it to actually be fairly effective in whatever it was trying to do in terms of like setting a certain tone or building tension or even having those puzzles, but it's just like, all right, you're done with the castle, let's fucking go. Looks great, but that's it.
Mhm.
I so I um there are a couple things that Requiem does with its like first chunk that I think is like some of the better stuff of this, like if we want to consider this like a gameplay trilogy. And it's mostly because I love how filled with enemies this is.
Yeah.
I've been replaying 7 because on another site, and by the time this comes out, this will have already gone live. I'm playing the Switch 2 ports of 7 and 8. I like the Baker House. The problem with the Baker House is that it's not like there are no enemies in it. Like the mold men are in the basement, and also there's only one type of mold man.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what I
Um,
like, though. I like the more like puzzle focus of it.
See, I don't disagree, but one of the things I love about Resident Evil the most is that I like having to solve the puzzles under duress. Um, and like the puzzles in the Baker House are really good, and and they have the pursuers on occasion. But I do what I like about Requiem's gameplay is that not only does every section have their own pursuer, but they are just filled with enemies,
Mhm.
and they are really aggressive. So like stealth is actually something that's like, encouraged in a lot of ways, but also they pull in shit from Resident Evil 1 remake with the Crimson Heads, I think is the name.
Yeah.
Where like there are
Ooh, they
enemies.
got the Crimson Head back?
So
They're
it's
called
not
blister
exactly.
heads.
Yeah. So it's like there are certain, like if you leave an enemy there without like, there's a resource that can kind of like inject it to just take care of it altogether, but like, that uses your resources. If you leave an enemy just out, it will become a more aggressive version of it itself. And I believe if you then shoot its like head when it's in that state, the blood will splatter to other enemies and infect them and make them go blister head.
The blister heads are terrifying too, man. Those things are crazy. Even as Leon, one of those things can fuck you up, man.
Oh yeah. It's
I love that. I love that they added something like that into the game because I think they've really been missing that since Resident Evil Remake.
Yeah, it's stuff like that I think that's where Requiem really works for me, where I'm in this care center and I'm like there's some things that like they took away guarding, for example, because I think they want this to be more survival horror than 7 and 8. So like you kind of have this mix of like how in RE2 remake, for example, like the police station is just filled with zombies. But you are supposed to like go all over this place to just try to like do progression, but you're less capable overall than in that because they want the first person like horror of 7 and 8 to kind of work here, which is why I think it's weird that they let you change the perspective. I cannot imagine doing Grace's sections in third person.
I tried it and it feels bad, honestly.
It's kind of like how
Like you can do it. It just after playing through the game in first person, I switched to third person. I played a little bit of it and was like, I just would rather do this in first person, honestly.
I'm glad the option is there.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm glad that they specifically tell you this part is made for first person and this part is made for third person. We will, if you want to switch it, you can, but like we designed it for these intended experiences. So I kind of want to do a replay of Grace in third person and Leon in first. I think that sounds kind of fun.
First person sounds like a nightmare. I don't. Some of the bigger action set pieces, I just don't know how that would work.
It's that like it, but like it sounds at least like a fun gimmick replay.
Yeah. But kind of building on what you said, Cullen, I think one thing this game really shines in the gameplay department is these like little contextual elements. Because like the infected in this game still remember their like they have muscle memory of their past jobs or their duties or whatever. So like
and they like talk.
Yeah. So they'll say things and like the butler zombies in the first area or like the servicemen zombies. they have muscle memory of like having to turn the lights off in the whole complex.
Yeah.
So you can turn lights on to distract them because they'll be like, "Oh, it's too bright," and then they stumble towards the light. Yeah. Or the patients.
Don't make me switch the light back off.
There's these patients that have head injuries, and if you make too much noise, they like freak out and will be like, "Shut up! Stop being so loud!" And it makes them go like frenzied. And there's all these little contextual elements like that are just really immersive in the moment.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
It's something that would be fun for them to pull in for like a Resident Evil 1 remake, but I would kill myself if they did that.
If we got a third one, I would be like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But like it's so weird because I think like what I got out of the Grace section, I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. I didn't love it, but you know, it's whatever. I had fun. And then I like got the gameplay wise, I was like, whoa, everything after I'm like a huge fan of. But now that like it's weird because you think back on the Grace stuff and it's like this is really well designed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing a lot of stuff, and I have a feeling if I were to replay the game on like hardcore or whatever the hardest difficulty is, I would be really
Insanity, I think.
Yeah, insanity.
Okay. I would be actually like really like put to my like my limits on that, and I think I'd actually really get to appreciate all the little things in the game that were probably designed to like really mess you up if you're not like, you know, playing with intent and a game plan. So
it does
overall,
it does hit the survival element well too, because I feel like, you know, like certain Resident Evil games, like 4 remake, unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty, I never felt like the ammo management or inventory management was very challenging. Here, inventory management is quite challenging as Grace, honestly. Like you constantly have to be thinking about inventory and trying to go back and drop stuff in the box and maybe discarding something that's not as important. And like I really found the inventory management element compelling.
I agree. I'm always like I'm always actively using my brain when I'm playing it, which is nice. Like that's what I want to be doing in a Resident Evil game. I want to be just like thinking about the 5 different tasks I can do at once, and then from there I want to be like worried about my inventory, crafting things that could either improve how I'm doing or clear off some inventory space because you find more things. And it's like overall, I think Grace has some really good gameplay stuff. Like I kind of hope though, like on New Game Plus, I could just pick a part I want to replay. Because I'm curious, like if I were to replay this from scratch, how much I would like Grace's stuff.
I do wish it had a chapter select. That would be nice. Okay. It doesn't.
That would be, yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I hope I love it by the end.
Very.
So I have a question for everyone. GC, you can pick based on vibes. Who are your favorite pursuers in the Resident Evil series? Mine's a deep cut and only available after you beat Resident Evil Remake. It's Forrest. In that one zombie mode. Have you guys ever played that version?
Yeah.
No.
I have.
So basically, Cullen, after you beat the game, you can actually do this one zombie mode in which Forrest Spire follows you through like every single room in the mansion, and you have to like turn off your auto aim because if you shoot him, the entire mansion blows up because he has bombs strapped to his chest.
Oh.
That's my favorite pursuer.
I feel like the easy answer is Mr. X.
Yeah, I mean, I think mechanically he's probably the best.
In my heart of hearts, it's always gonna be Jack Baker.
Mine's actually Jack Baker too.
I like replaying because in my replay I got all the way up to the part where you do the bug house, so that I stopped playing. Because bugs are icky and gross. But I'm just like, I love that old man. I love how into it he is. He was like, "You want to see some cool shit, Ethan?"
So
he blows
funny,
his brains
man.
out. He's like, I thought you were supposed to have some supper, boy. And he like throws like a shovel at you, and he's like, let's drive let's drive into this spike and I'll die, Ethan. And he drives the car, and then him doing donuts, and it's just so fun. He's like, personality is just.
I also think Nemesis in OG3 is really good. Like,
yeah,
I like Nemesis in 3 remake, but I was a little disappointed that Nemesis wasn't better after Mr. X. And I think it's weird because I don't think the series has ever had as compelling a pursuer in terms of like sheer gameplay mechanics after Mr. X.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Jack is he's really only there for like a bit, and then he's boss fights.
Yeah.
I like the new Nemesis boss fights in 3 remake.
Yeah, boss fights are good.
Yeah, he's like, he's kind of just like there. But also like I didn't really have a fun time with original 3. Even though I think as a pursuer he is very like threatening, and he's like a lot of fun mechanically.
Well, this is kind of like tangential to Resident Evil, but Dead Space 2 has a really good pursuer enemy with that like immortal necromorph or whatever that you can't kill.
I gotta replay Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
All I remember about Dead Space 2 was the eye thing.
Oh my
I think that's
God.
what most people remember about Dead Space
you're right.
2.
I don't need to replay Dead Space 2.
Dead Space 2 is good though. Like all-timer survival horror.
Oh, also, I don't think this is going to be a spoiler, but for those of you wanting to play RE9, please keep in mind there are a fuck ton of spiders in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way to get around it too. We should clarify.
Yeah, that is a good point. I was caught off guard, and I got a bug thing, so I'm like, oh, you got me, but I don't like this.
My favorite Resident Evil character is Lisa.
Like, you love Lisa's
from
great.
Simpson?
I love Lisa.
Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, Lisa Simpson. She's locked in the basement. No, I love Lisa. I love the Wesker's reports that talk about Lisa. She's such an interesting character. So sad though. So sad.
Lock my daughter in the basement. T-virus.
Thank you, Homer E. Spencer. I appreciate that.
Kill the boy, trap the girl.
You know what? I don't know why I had this thought, but they should make a Lego Resident Evil game.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Why not?
I think that would be
very funny.
Yeah.
Nobody actually dies, and it's like the T virus is just like a flu.
Yeah.
I just want
kind of snotty.
I want it to be first person, and I want to open like I want that like puzzle box, like big mansion, but everything's made of Lego, and you're opening the Lego door and everything.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom, hire us. Let's make it happen.
Available.
Man. No, GC, you're not available because you're working with me now.
That's fine. I can multitask.
I feel like we've been talking a lot, and GC hasn't said a lot because he hasn't played Resident Evil. So
we should I guess end Resident
you're good.
Evil talk.
You were more than good. While y'all were talking, I was trying to fix the creaky handlebar on my chair, and I had a whole adventure with my mic muted. Like you missed I broke a drill bit. Like it was wild.
GC started walking around his house looking for like resources, dodging the enemies that roam his house, trying to find the lever
he's
that
looking for scrap.
Yeah, he's looking for scrap. He's trying to find the tool from the toolkit, and his dad put it on the roof and put a note on the toolbox, be like, Itchy Tasty needed to sacrifice the wrench to the roof god, and then GC had to go up there, and then as soon as he did, the rain started, and then someone busted through the like roof, and it's his mom, and then he has to run back without any items.
You want to see something cool?
And then he gets like pulled down like all the way through the roof like Leon, and then he's like, even though he drops all that way, he's like, next time hire a roof guy.
Whoa. And to think I wasn't afraid of heights.
My chiropractor's gonna be getting a call on the weekend. I love Leon so much. There's his
some
fucking
good one-liners in this, man.
are so corny, and every time it happens, I giggle and I point. Like, this is literal. I got to one last night, and he did one, and I giggled and I pointed at the screen, even though I was in my room alone.
Also, people have already pointed this out online because the footage is out there. But at the beginning of the care center for Leon, he just straight up watches a woman get chainsawed.
Yeah, and
it's
he's
like, oh, whoops.
I guess I should get a second opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
after this woman just literally got sawed in half, and you're like, what the hell, Leon?
What is wrong with you?
I think at this point he's just over it.
Yeah, he's used to it. Honestly,
I mean, he knows she's not gonna make it out, right? So it's just,
he knows
like,
he's
genuinely,
in a video game.
I do like that moment is kind of like, okay, this does show us Leon is kind of like, he is an old ass man and he has seen some shit.
He is nonplussed.
I see that's the thing. It's like, even if I end up with a litany of complaints. Oh, I love Leon Kennedy. Oh, he is my blurbo. Like, cause I mentioned it earlier, but what you think about Chris, I think about Leon exactly. I'm like, damn, hot ass 65-year-old man.
I mean, like, maybe. You always in your heart love Leon, right?
Oh, Leon is my guy. Like, he has always been my favorite. I
used to wish death upon Chris.
Okay. No, I am so smitten with Leon Kennedy. I see his handsome face and I twirl my hair and I see him make his one-liners and I giggle and I go, +1, Leon, +1. You've won the internet for today. Like, he's my guy.
They're gonna bring someone back.
The thing is, Leon.
Go ahead.
Leon has these two things going for him, right? And that's what everybody loves. He's beautiful and he can make you laugh. The making you laugh thing is more important than being attractive. As long as you can make somebody laugh, they're easy to love. Chris Redfield has never made me laugh in my life. In fact, I fucking hated his ass. Boring ass white man.
Chris Redfield, the kind of guy to talk to you about his ex-wife on your first date.
He made me laugh.
I just think he talks about his job. And I mean, then his boyfriend dies and then he just never talks about anything ever again.
Well, after that, he becomes two different characters.
It's so fucking whatever. Like, anyways.
Ugly Chris is so funny. Yeah? Like 7 Chris.
I don't know what they did with that. Because, like, so today, Jake and I were, Jake Mueller, my life partner, and I were going back and looking at all of the face models for all the original characters, like for RE1 remake, 4, 5, 6, all of that. We actually ended up finding the face model for Chris from remake to 6, because it used to be on this old website that isn't hosted anymore. It had like all of the face models listed for all the classic, quote unquote, classic characters. And my God, that guy actually does look like Chris Redfield. And he was babe. For Chris's original face model, was he world kickboxing champion for like 3 years in a row?
No, like 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 years in a row. So good on them for, I guess, getting that guy TM. But brother, the way he looks in 7 is atrocious. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
So I posted in our Discord like an up close of all his faces. It's really funny. In remake, he looks like a bit like John Cena.
I could share the picture of the guy because he just, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just like, okay, I guess. Hey, let me scroll up. But it's so like, I don't know what they did in 7.
Because he's also like skinnier, like noticeably. It's just like, it's weird. Like, it doesn't.
It
just doesn't look like him. But I mean, it was rumored that that was supposed to be a reboot originally.
Yeah.
7 was.
And then
I
they
do
decided
like
against it, I would assume.
Yeah.
I think I remember there was like an interview where they were like, "Yeah, we thought we were doing something with him in 7, and we realized it didn't work, so we're sorry. That was a mistake."
No.
I want a Carlos
I
game,
just
man. Bring my guy
Oh
Carlos back.
yes, that's what I was
I
hoping.
think
Like
they
after
would
3, like remake, and like Carlos became.
I know. I thought we'd get a
like,
Carlos game, man. He's great in 3 remake.
the most we got is
I-
that they took his actor and gave it to Chris. Sorry, Kaz. Go.
so my problem with modern Resident Evil is that they they give sympathy to like white supremacists and fascists like Krauser for some reason, and they've depoliticized a lot of the series. Who here knows about Carlos's original backstory?
Wasn't he a murderer?
I think you're thinking
No,
Zero.
Carlos. You're thinking Billy, who also wasn't a murderer,
Yeah.
but
I am thinking about Billy. That's right.
Carlos was a renegade communist freedom fighter in South America
Right.
who started that when he was a teenager trying to topple an authoritarian regime. His squad got caught. He was put on death row with all of them. And then Umbrella basically bought their lives and jet setted them in, like just shuttled them in to start working as their expendable military force. I don't think a modern Carlos game would touch on that at all.
No, it wouldn't.
And that's so important to his character.
Because
That's his original
3
backstory,
remake
by
never
the way.
mentions any of that. He's just
No.
Umbrella guy.
No, they do not.
Where do they mention
Yeah.
that? I don't even remember that in 3 original.
That is in the original like background script, basically, like the whole like notes that they gave, and then in a lot of extra material.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really read any of the extra material.
It's really interesting because again, I'm so sorry. I was not normal about Resident Evil for like a fucking decade. They even have extra lore in the official gun replicas. Like you learn that Steve's gold Lugers were actually a gift from like some actual Nazi in Nazi Germany
Jesus.
to the Ashfords because they shared the same ideas of white supremacy. And those are in the gold Luger replica like manual you get when you would buy them in real life.
Huh.
Interesting.
Like I don't think modern Resident Evil is willing to go that
Oh, it's
far
absolutely
in
not.
terms
Yeah.
of in terms of like the politics the series used to have, which is what I used to really like as a commentary on eugenics, white supremacy, general government conspiracy and shit. Because a lot of it does, despite being Western, does play into a lot of these things that, for example, civilian and citizen distrust in the Japanese government performing, experiments on its own people during World War II and all of that stuff. And it's just like, you don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
And it is goofy, fun, campy, and everything. But I wish it still had the guts to say things. It is dumb fun, but I wish it still had the guts to say things.
Yeah, fair.
The government conspiracy stuff is still there to a degree, but the eugenic stuff is just completely gone at this point.
Yeah, it's a shame. We can talk about it when Cullen gets there because I don't think he's gotten there yet. But
No, I'm.
you know what I'm talking about, Hayes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
Very
that's-
nice, meaty discussion on Resident Evil 9.
Evil.
Very
Yeah.
good. Unfortunately, well, I guess I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was dealing with the exploding drill bits, but unfortunately, games isn't the only thing that happened this week and last week. A lot of other stuff happened. Do we want to go into which one do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the layoffs or the suits quitting from the big company?
Spoiled for choice. Jeez.
I know. I
know.
I could tell you about Neo
last
1 if
night
you want.
why don't we start with Microsoft because that was the most recent
Yeah.
one and
Work our
arguably
way
I
back.
think the most alarming of the two.
Yes, and the more this is gonna sound callous. The more fascinating of the two, considering that
Yeah.
layoffs are happening
And
just all the time.
the one that will affect the industry more.
Yeah.
It's
The
not. It's not
greater-
like a popularity contest, but
Yeah, the pivot. This
Yeah.
is
They're
this is
bigger.
more of a new pivot, as opposed to other news, which has just been part of the fallout of the older pivot.
The never-ending horrors. We found a new horror.
The never-ending horrors. have revealed to us a new horrible cosmic entity that we cannot comprehend. Phil Spencer retiring. We kind of knew that was happening.
The segue of that, we found a new cosmic horror. Phil Spencer.
Yes, I am at times good at doing comedy. Some call me a comedian in certain circles. Phil Spencer leaves. Sarah Bond, who was assumedly and semi-publicly said to be his successor, also leaves. I forget her name. I'm so sorry.
You can just say the AI person. The AI. She also is like a pronatalist or something.
Yeah. Asha Sharma.
Asha
name.
Sharma.
Yeah.
Taking over for the Xbox division. Known pro. I see. I was confused by the headline because Booty, Monsieur Booty is in that headline, and I know he's like the head of AI department at Microsoft right now. So at first I read the headline, I thought he was taking over duties, but it's this other lady, and then I got confused because I wasn't sure if the AI thing is if she's also a proponent of AI usage or not.
She
But if
sure
you-
is. I think she's head
Very-
of Copilot or something.
Yeah, I think she was the head of the Copilot initiative, I want to say.
Gross. What will this?
He
What
is
does this mean? For
Very
Xbox?
pro AI, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, and Gita Jackson of Aftermath said this yesterday, and I just want to quote this properly because this is exactly how I feel and what I think is going to happen is, I know we are all gaming people and feel like the Xbox is too big to fail, but Microsoft as a company could jettison all their gaming stuff tomorrow and not really feel the financial impact.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox division of Microsoft, I believe, has rarely, if ever, been profitable. And well, I guess during the
Yep.
Halo days, maybe
There was a brief window, I think, during the 360 era.
Yeah, 360
Yeah.
is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was during all the racism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because original Xbox
And-
wasn't profitable.
No. Famously, a joke of a product in development. So Microsoft has always been like making their profits lie in like completely other stuff, defense contracts, their operating system, their like contracts with like businesses for like Microsoft Office and stuff like that. Like that's where Microsoft makes its money. The Xbox division is not actually that important to Microsoft, believe it or not, especially if it has been tanking the way it has been in recent years. It's like, why would they even like in their mind, in the minds of like Microsoft proper, it would just be like a loose end they could just snip off and be fine about.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really like, they don't even have the brand loyalty anymore when you think about it. So
No, all their and like for the console, like why, like in earnest, right? You think about the economy, you think about how everything's going to shit. You really can either only buy a PC, an Xbox, or a PlayStation, not all three.
Yeah.
Why would you buy any of those consoles? Like obviously PCs are fucking jacked up in price right now, but why would you even fuck around with an Xbox console if you can just get it on PC, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
there is no real monetary value in buying or investing in the Xbox.
Or now
console,
even,
unless,
like,
you're an Xbox fan.
9 out of 10 Xbox games are going to come to PS5.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they made
Switch.
so it may be accurate to say that they may be discontinuing console development and Xbox will just kind of dissolve, but they'll hold on to the video game studios that Microsoft will own the software companies, and maybe some of those will stick around, like the really like the ones that like, you know, do make money. But like Xbox
Personally,
as a
I don't think
whole, as a
anybody's
brand, I
safe.
don't think it's gonna stay around.
No, I think they'll keep Microsoft quote unquote gaming or whatever. Maybe they'll rebrand to that as like at large, but I don't think anybody is safe. Like, I'll use again because I fucking play World of Warcraft still or whatever, and like I know that studio, like Blizzard, makes a fuck ton of money every month because of it. I don't even think they're safe from layoffs at this point.
That's wild.
Like,
I'm very worried about Obsidian, man. I don't know that they're
Yeah.
going to
yeah,
survive
because
it.
Obsidian doesn't make money.
Yeah. They didn't
They
even
don't make
they
money.
didn't
They
even
don't
make
really
money when they
recoup
were
costs.
independent. Really, I mean, the only
Yeah.
reason the Pillars games got
Exactly.
made is because they were crowdfunded.
Yep.
Exactly. So I think we're like we're gonna watch again the collapse of the Western games industry in real time. I think in the next 3 years.
I was
Yeah, that tracks.
I was looking some stuff up for a video I was writing, and one of the things that my research led me to was the video game market crash of 1983, which happened
Mm-hmm.
43 years ago. Can you tell that I'm trapped? I thought it was 20 years ago. Here, my brain's still thinking the 80s was 20 years ago. So one of the things about that crash that's important to note is a lot of the people that were like leaders of the video game industry in the West at the time, a lot of them cite venture
Mm-hmm.
capitalism as like the reason a lot of this stuff went sideways, and also an oversaturation of um, the same shit over and over again, and stagnation, but at an
Mm-hmm.
accelerated pace, is what brought about the crash back in the day. And if you go back and you read those quotes and stuff, it paints a very similar picture to what's happening now. And this like change in leadership at Xbox and like the push for AI tech, obviously by putting, a lot of people might be wondering, how is this a push for AI tech? If you put the co-pilot lady on as head of Xbox, and then you have a statement made by the head of AI at Microsoft endorsing the position, that is very clearly an intent to move forward with using AI in video game development, at least, public facing statement, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
AI, generative AI, as we've discussed, as everybody knows, is derivative. It is stagnant. It just takes existing things and regurgitates it. And what will eventually happen, if they even get to that point of actually putting anything out like that, you are going to have that same we're already in it, but like, that is the acceleration of stagnation. That is the acceleration of oversaturation. That is the acceleration of all these issues that caused the big video game crash back in the day. And we're just seeing it now
Mm-hmm.
with different technologies and through different avenues, but still the venture capitalists, interestingly enough.
I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
have seen too. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I've seen it going around Blue Sky that Asha Sharma's Twitter account. I don't know if it's actually her doing it, but she's been responding to a bunch of people on Twitter about various different things since the news came out. One thing was
Mm-hmm.
someone talking about how like some Xbox fan being like, Xbox games have to be exclusive to Xbox, and she responded saying, "I hear you." And then she's also been responding to some of the notorious grifters that have been circling the industry for the last few years,
Mm.
which is not great.
Oh, that shit's so cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Responding like positively.
Like directly engaging with them. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I put
Yeah.
someone's in the chat. I put something there. So it may not, and to be fair, like a CEO's Twitter account, it may not be her directly controlling that, but
yeah.
either way, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really matter,
I hate these. First of all, just like outside of her responding to like some of the fucking worst actors in this fucking like entire sphere, but like the fact that she's responding to brand
I
accounts makes
know
me want to
it's
kill myself. This is all because of Wendy's. We have to go back in time and kill
the
Wendy's.
brand account stuff. It just makes me nauseous. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sad stuff.
That's
I think you're right, Cosma. I think there will be, like, I think if push comes to shove, I don't know, in my head I'm like, Blizzard may buy itself out of the Microsoft ownership, but it depends on like how that
I would
acquisition occurred and like
that.
what the makeup of that is, right?
Exactly.
Or even if Microsoft
I'm
wants
really
to sell.
concerned. So I can't really say anything to that because probably shouldn't talk about that, but like
Sure,
what
sure.
I'm really concerned about is the fact that most of the World of Warcraft team is unionized now,
hmm
and I can see all of those people getting fired.
Yeah. And then you're
The
going to get
Overwatch, I
some
think
very
Overwatch
upset
is
World of
mostly
Warcraft
unionized.
players.
Yeah, well,
If you fired the
I don't
World of
think they think
Warcraft
about the big
team,
picture.
I think they do. I think World of Warcraft players, if they hear, hey, everybody that works on World of Warcraft is gone, I think maybe not immediately, but the Warcraft players will eventually turn on that brand pretty
Oh, and I think the
aggressively.
players will care because nobody hates and loves World of Warcraft more than people that play World of
Yes.
Warcraft. I've never met a community that hates the game they play so much, but also loves it.
Yeah.
But I don't think Microsoft gives a shit. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I think
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the truly upsetting thing about it. Is like, I don't care if Xbox crashes and burns, like, but I think it's quite upsetting that even the detrimental effect that Xbox has had on the industry at large with, you want to talk about the Blizzard Activision acquisition, the effect that Game Pass has had on games industry, or so many different things. And they've had just such a detrimental effect on the industry at large. And at any point, they can just sell it all and pull out, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just hurting all the like the only people who will genuinely suffer from this are the workers.
Yeah. I've talked about this before when it comes to investors and companies that like business people who enter into industries who don't have a real interest in the industry itself or the pursuit of that technology or that art or whatever that industry is sort of centered around. And their goal is more often than not to make as much money as possible, as fast as possible, and then to cash out and move on to the next industry. And they don't really care the damage that causes that industry. And a lot of times, like, you might think that means like, oh, they're there for like a year or something. But like when you're talking about major corporations doing that sort of thing on an individual level, yeah, that's a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and then they leave, and they leave it worse for wear most of the time. But for major corporations, you're looking at like their version of short term is a lot longer than an individual's. And so what ends up happening is that like they're here for like a decade, 2 decades. And then once the going gets bad because the things they're doing that they knowingly know is going to hurt the industry, right? Because they're more concerned about their presence in the industry being like kept secure and chasing those profits. So they don't care if the rest of the industry goes to shit as long as they remain on top. Once they leave, they take the entire industry out with them because their goal, like the mindset of that kind of business practice is to monopolize. That's their goal. Their goal is to get through loopholes and find ways to exploit the system to like, achieve things that reasonably would be damaging and shouldn't be allowed. But, that is the world we live in. And I think we are watching that moment happen with Microsoft, where they came in, they acquired all these things, they built up this like monopoly, then they grabbed this like huge market share, and now that they cannot hold on to it any longer, that's the telltale sign to any person doing that kind of business of, oh, it's time to get out. I'm leaving now. I'm taking my ball and going home. And unfortunately, I bought the ball from you, so you don't have a ball now.
Exactly. So in regards to other developers that Microsoft has acquired over the years, what other like sort of shutdowns do you foresee happening? Because I think ESO is going to get shuttered for sure. I think
Elder
that's going to
Scrolls
go
Online
away.
is going to go at some point, like it
100%.
has to, right?
I think
How long has that game been out for? Like, I feel like
Quite a
even
while.
outside of like the
Over 10 years.
yeah, like so even outside of the troubles like approaching,
End of life.
I've honestly just been expecting that that article to show up at some point, just saying that game's over. Like, so I feel like that's like one of the first things to go.
ESO started in 2014.
Whoa.
I think I hate to say this, but I think Arcane is going to be on the chopping block sooner or later.
The show?
No, the studio Arcane.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
people are already theorizing that Blade game is
canned,
more than likely
yeah.
going to get canned.
Oh,
There was a
yeah.
rumor that it was canceled like 8 months ago or something. I remember it came out and said it
Mhm.
wasn't true, but
Yeah.
Yeah, this is regardless of how people feel, I guess, about Microsoft concerning, its complicity and like whatnot and like the BDS movement and everything. I think it still really fucking sucks that like an entire branch of basically a lot of people's livelihoods like hinge upon this one single corporate entity because we live in a fucking ultra capitalist like fucking like almost end of capitalist hellscape regarding how fast we're speedrunning to the bottom.
mhm.
And it's just really unfortunate, and I think some people understand how fucked up this is going to be for the industry going forward, whereas others are just sort of like, well, that's just the way it's going to be, and not really understanding the long-term effect of how this is actually probably going to break down the games industry like as a whole. Like it's
You
really
will-
fucking bizarre.
You are not just going to not have video games from Microsoft owned companies.
and I think people
You
need to
are-
realize, like,
Yeah.
I think there's this expectation with all the stuff that has happened with Microsoft of like certain people are safe. Like Bethesda's safe. They're
Mhm.
Bethesda. They're going to stick around.
Oh no,
And,
they're
like,
not.
No
Yeah, I think-
way.
people need to realize like
Nope.
this is a breaking point. Like anything
Yeah.
anything and everything is going to get hacked apart. And even if
People-
Bethesda's
Exactly.
around, if they let go of 80% of Bethesda's staff and try to, streamline their development pipeline with AI, like that's it. That's it.
You guys excited for a Halo AI powered remake
Oh
on
my
PlayStation
God.
5?
It's
Yeah,
Hey
I'm
Ilo.
gonna say something really fucked up, and I think it won't matter how much money they've sunk into Elder Scrolls 6. I think there's a very real possibility that game could get canceled.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
I
Yeah.
believe 100% that
Yeah.
that game, if not canceled, I think I am curious. So my curiosity lies in what is going to be, because this is sorry to stereotype. This is an AI proponent taking over a games division, and I would as much as I can't stand Todd Howard, I would hazard a guess to say that Todd Howard is perhaps a little protective of how he makes things. And we know that from some other stuff, but like I would wonder if that game ever comes out simply on the premise of, and if it does come out, I would wonder if Todd Howard remains at Bethesda like before that game comes out, or even like if he just departs after that game releases, if that is the case. Because
I think no matter what happens, he's leaving.
you're gonna see some butting of heads, I think,
The other one
personally speaking.
that I really think about is Double Fine. I don't know how Double Fine exists under
Ooh.
the current Microsoft.
I don't know how Tim Schafer lives with himself. I don't mean that to say Tim Schafer's like an awful dude. I don't know how he he's a very proud man, Tim Schafer. I don't know how he lives with himself in the sense of like, I think he may in fact be miserable in some aspects.
I mean, do you
of
remember
his,
that
like,
video that came
professional
out
career.
as part of like the Double Fine documentary years ago, where they were doing their Double Fine game jam kind of thing, where everyone prototypes these different ideas and sometimes they turn into projects. And Matt Booty was
Yes.
there talking to them about it, and they told him about the whole process. He was like, "Oh, we can't do that. Like, you can't just prototype things that aren't going to turn into real games." And it was just this like really awkward moment between Tim Schafer and Matt Booty, like on video.
And he's also incredibly wrong, Matt Booty.
Yeah.
The whole point of prototyping is to confirm that the concept can work and has legs.
But I mean, just
Fucking
like
moron.
Wait,
Sorry.
did Matt Booty literally say that prototyping is like?
There's no point in
What?
prototyping
In no uncertain
something that you're
terms,
not going
yeah.
to turn into a game.
He's-
Paraphrasing,
is-
of course.
in no uncertain terms,
That's-
yeah, it's basically like why you can't waste your time
What?
making things that aren't like relevant to projects.
But okay, I get. All right.
He's wrong.
What?
He's wrong because
Yeah.
that's also a very terrible way to waste money when you greenlight a project without a successful prototype and then end up having to cancel the project. You spend like upwards 10 times the amount of money you were going to spend if you had just made your fucking prototype.
Matt Booty
Xbox
is
loves
But like
doing that
you're
though.
something
supposed
else.
to do that.
Yeah, Matt
Yeah.
Booty's a moron. Sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
shouldn't say that.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
no, you can. It's our podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Um,
No rules.
That was a very uneducated thing to say, Mr. Booty.
I don't think we need to care about what Matt Booty thinks
Dumb
of us.
fuck.
Yeah, I know.
his last name is Booty. Sorry.
I just like discrediting AI proponents whenever I get the chance. Anyway, so yeah, you're not just gonna not be able to play your Xbox games or your Microsoft Studio games. You are not going like Xbox leaving will create a market vacuum. You know, you're going to see like a huge swath of that industry cut out. Investors may pull out. Investors may see that and go, "Oh, I don't want to put my money in this industry." One of the biggest companies in the world just left. I'm out as well. So and they might not be related to Microsoft. They just might see Microsoft doing that and go, "Well, I don't want my money here." That's a sign of bad business, and they're going to pull out. They'll pull out from whatever studio they have money in. Any publicly traded studio, or even private investors may pull out of whatever they're bankrolling. You're going to see companies see other major companies see that major company depart, and they are going to go, oh, either they are going to ramp up production, which is going to be an unsustainable problem, or they are going to also downsize and diminish. So you're going to get less games overall, but also a bunch of people are going to be without jobs, and now you're going to have a wasteland of unemployed developers, canceled games, entire studio closures that had nothing to do with Microsoft, but that is the effect that Microsoft closing down its Xbox division or ruining its Xbox division can create for the rest of the industry.
Which I guess is a kind of a good way to.
Go ahead, Hayes.
I guess it's kind of a. If there's anything else we have to say about this, but like good way to segue, considering that like another major company is also kind of very much dropping the ball in another area.
Yeah, it rhymes with phony.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're basically witnessing like with that whole thing with Sony with Bluepoint, right? Like that was already sort of like okay, like we're on like a downward. We're still on the downward spiral, but the Microsoft thing is that we're nosediving.
Yes.
And we're going to see a lot more of those announcements from AAAs regarding the studios that they've acquired, either just get gutted or shuttered entirely. So let's talk about Bluepoint.
Oh boy.
I want to preface this by saying there's going to be people out there, and I've seen people out there going, well, Bluepoint, that Demon Souls remake was whatever, and like, you know, some of the other like remakes they've done have been okay, and then like there was like an ongoing like joke about Bluepoint, which is like they remake games, but they remake them in like a way that just screams that studio, like it screams Bluepoint. So like, you know, when Bluepoint worked on something, and a lot of people tend to like be very mixed on their output, right?
Yeah.
But that is not the point. Sometimes a studio serves a functional purpose. Sometimes a studio full of talented artists and talented creators, right? They may not make the most incredible things you've ever seen, but their existence is sort of a sign of industry health. A studio dedicated to remakes that regularly puts out a remake every so often that is identifiable as something they made is a sign that the people that own them see them as an important part of sort of
The ecosystem.
Yes, and like remakes and remasters are an important part of our modern video game ecosystem. Love them or hate them, you know, they are.
Thanks for nothing, Capcom.
They're funding a lot of things. Capcom wouldn't be able to make games like Pragmata or
Literally.
Kunitsugami without the Resident Evil remakes. They just wouldn't.
Yeah, like those Resident Evil remakes were literally keeping that company afloat, like straight up. Like that is the only reason that
That's similarly
Capcom
why you're
is in the
seeing
state it's in.
Square Enix lean into remakes so much more too, because they're doing well.
Yeah. And
The remakes are doing well. That company is doing
Oh, I'm not saying Square Enix is
poorly.
doing well. Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
the remakes are doing well.
the
Yeah.
remakes
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Oh,
so
the state of Square Enix right now. They have to release Stranger of Paradise
they're
too.
hemorrhaging.
Anyways,
They're
continue.
hemorrhaging so much money.
Square Enix,
Sorry.
if you port Stranger of Paradise on Switch 2, it'll
Oh
sell
my God.
20 billion copies.
I really
all
want
right?
that game on Switch too.
People just weren't at home that
Square
day.
Enix is your friend that's always in the hospital for some new fucking problem they've got. Like that's
See,
that's been them.
That's
since
why I
their
like them, because
inception.
I'm that guy.
You
It's just
broke
like,
your
oh.
toe again, and like, no, the other
Yeah.
toe, and you're like,
Square
what?
Enix is that friend, like it's that bitch that's always going through it, and you're just
Did
like,
you
know
get
what
fucking
though?
stabbed? Yeah, who did it? I fell on it. What?
And then it's like, okay, here's like $20. I hope, like, get yourself to a hospital, Uber yourself there. It's okay.
Bad news. The Uber hit a pole.
Uber kidnapped me.
You get a picture of him in like a dimly lit basement with like a single light bulb swinging across from the ceiling.
And like a cardboard like sign that just says, "Give me $20,000," and it's like, all right, I'll
damn it.
wire over the money.
They should honestly, their next remake should just have like that as the box art. But yeah, remakes are a sign of a healthy industry because it means that they have walking around money. And as misguided as I think it may be sometimes, a lot of these major companies view remakes and remasters as part of game preservation, and a lot of them view game preservation as a thing they can only do if they are in a good state. Otherwise, or well, no, that's not true either, because sometimes they fall back on remasters. But the point is that they're a sign that things are doing well. And if you're closing down your remake remasters, that's a sign that things are not doing well, because remakes and remasters, especially for like really popular games, they tend to do pretty well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that bought a PS5 entirely because of a Demon's Souls remake. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I just think
I
it's
think-
crazy. Like the one thing I think everybody's been saying about this is that you buy this studio after they make you this really like technically impressive PS5 remake of Demon's Souls. You then immediately make them do a God of War live service game, and then
The kiss of death.
yeah, and then you cancel that. And then when you start up a God of War remake series, instead of getting your remake studio to make this while your actual studio makes new games
New
for
God
God
of
of War, you have the new, like, you have your God of War studio make the remakes, and then you shutter your remake studio, which, like, again, say whatever you want about the quality of some of their like modern remakes, but like they at least like have shown that they are really good at taking finished like game products and reverse engineering them.
Yeah.
Because that's how they made the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which is mostly just like great.
That Demon's Souls remake is honestly like kind of still the most technically impressive PS5 game, even after all these years.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so it just shows that it's like you're burning talent for no reason. Like this is the things these people have done for the industry and could continue to do is highly valuable, and it's just a short-sighted decision that benefits like nothing.
It's especially frustrating with Sony because of like outside of Nintendo, there's not a company that has like a richer back catalog of games. I mean, how often are you online
huge
and people are like, man, I wish we could get a new Sly Cooper or a new Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank or Ape Escape or Twisted Metal. All these series that people are begging for. And like,
just have these guys pump out some remakes and remasters on the regular.
I
while
even
you
see
waste,
like, you know,
Legend of Dragoon.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. For years, people have been begging for a Legend of Dragoon remaster. or remake. And can you
I
imagine
need
like
Burning Rush.
I don't
need
yeah.
Astral Drain.
Whatever you think of Clair Obscur, you know, regardless, like the success of that game last year, can you imagine Legend of Dragoon coming out with like, hey, here's a game that inspired Clair Obscur with its like action hybrid combat
with its
system?
Yes, with its 98 button QTE for one attack.
And like you market that
Yes.
just the right way, and I mean that would do gangbusters.
Yeah. It always comes back down to mismanagement, doesn't it? Like Cullen was saying,
100%,
right?
yeah.
It's like why did you give this God of War remake series to somebody else? Why not give it to the studio that puts out consistent, reliable work? Why not let the studio that made the new God of Wars continue making new God of Wars? And then at this point, you know, why did you make them do a games as a service game, a games as a service title, when like it wasn't the whole reason? Didn't Jim Ryan basically get ousted from Sony? Didn't they vote him off or something? Or did he like
Say, get
depart?
out of here, white man.
Like what was the point of Jim Ryan leaving? Right? What was the point of Jim Ryan leaving after the very public outcry that he was running everything into the ground, despite like all of the statements that he made and how bad it made you look, right? He leaves and you just continue doing the stuff that he wanted you to do. What was the point in changing the leadership if the leadership did not bother changing at all?
I think what's amazing is that,
you know,
Sony, I mean, they talked about that live service push a lot, but I think they undersold how much they actually invested in that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and they had like 13 games planned, and literally like 9 of them have been canceled. That's an astronomical failure.
The Avengers game. Does anybody remember the Avengers game? Did anybody nobody talks about it. Nobody remembers.
I had to review that game.
Yeah, the Avengers
Hulk
Destiny
went
clone. That's a
for an
Sony
entire
thing.
level.
I thought that came out on other platforms.
Game.
But it was like a Sony. It was like a Sony developed, like Sony paid for that, didn't it? Didn't they?
I don't know because I think
that was a Square Enix game.
Yeah, that was Square's.
I'm confusing my S's. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Square
basically
Enix.
That game almost tanked Square Enix. That game literally almost tanked Square Enix.
What do you mean you got 5 kidney stones?
I went Sony, and Sony's next to me going, what? And I go, sorry, force a habit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I remember that game almost tanking Square Enix because they literally said in a financial report if they hadn't released 7 Remake, I think around the same time, they would literally be in the negative.
Every decision Sony has made in this. I mean, now we have like Genshin Horizon coming out in a couple months. That is just like,
what?
Yeah, have you seen the Horizon multiplayer
Horizon
game?
Zero Dawn,
but I didn't perceive it, and I refused to watch a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Like,
that breaks my heart.
The goofy thing.
If there's one thing Horizon does well, right? It's like its visual aesthetic and it's like a style with the dinosaur robots and like
it's
you make a multiplayer game and you're just gonna change that visual style and like not embrace that visual style at all and just go for like the gotcha game style.
It's just so like
it's coming out too late.
First of all, it's coming out too late. Second of all, Horizon is not that popular.
Yeah.
Like as an identity, like people don't. So I like her. I haven't finished it, but I played a good amount of Horizon 1. I actually really like that game, and one of the things that I really like about it is as I was playing it, I was like, this has world building. Like this is somebody's like fantasy like campaign. They have factions. There's like different cultures. It's like well realized. And it pisses me off because I have never seen them lean into that. I've never seen that I've never seen the marketing for that lean into like, no, this is like a real, like fully realized concept, right?
Didn't they remake that?
Yeah.
What?
Didn't they remake Horizon 1?
They did. Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, who here has seen Mean Girls?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a good amount. Right.
Trying to make fetch happen. That's how I feel with Horizon, in which they try to put Aloy in everything, and she's not really like, they put her in fucking Genshin Impact, right, as like the special PlayStation character, and I'm like, who? Okay, like you said,
Well, they did it too
I'm gonna be
fast.
generous.
Like,
It's
She kind of the industry
Horizon's
play.
not that popular.
Yeah, and then they
It's
made
not
that
popular.
bizarre Lego game. It came out of nowhere, and then they didn't promote it all.
You could play Horizon on Switch. Horizon Lego on Switch.
My whole thing with like, it's such a weird, like, okay, to your point, Hayes, as well, they have so many IPs that you could push harder than that. You know what would have been a really cool game? A multiplayer heist game in the Sly Cooper universe.
Oh man. Yeah.
You want to do games as
would-
a service, Sony. You
I would.
want to do your fucking PvE, PV, whatever. You should have done an extraction shooter that's a stealth, an extraction stealth game with Sly Cooper, where you and your friends go in as Sly Cooper, like created characters, and you go do
You see-
heists, and then you pull out.
Or not to mention,
GC, you understand the problem with that, though, right? Then that studio couldn't make dog shit Orientalist samurai games anymore.
Yeah.
not to mention the whole rise of like battle royale games, and Sony didn't look at that and say, you know, maybe we should make a Twisted Metal battle royale game, because that's kind of what the series is, right?
A fucking Twisted Metal game where it's like you don't spawn in the car, you gotta find the car, and then you gotta blow up the other cars, or
It's
you all
just-
start in like a shitty car, like the Forza. They could even like borrow from the Forza battle royale. That's actually like kind of neat, by the way. And it's like you have IPs, there are existing ideas you can ape off of. That's fine, but there are things that you can do with that genre, that concept, that would be interesting, not just for like Sony fans, but also for like the general audience. Will love those like takes on that thing.
I mean, like,
Um,
people eat that shit up, right? Like, Astrobot came out, everyone lost their minds over all the little bots. Like, oh, look
Yeah.
at this Solid Snake bot, or look at this Chrono Cross bot. And, like, people loved that stuff.
people were so obviously like, we love it when you pander to us.
Yeah.
But also I think in that case, it's like they hadn't seen those characters in ever. So like when you see all those Sony characters in the Astrobot game, you're like, oh my God, look. And people in their heads were like, are we getting a new one of those because they're here? And then, you know, you didn't get anything. But like that would like that should have been such an obvious signal to Sony that it's like, actually use your old IPs. It's totally fine. You are an old company with a huge legacy. Pull from that legacy. Stop remaking The Last of Us. Stop remaking Horizon. Like,
Stop making The Last of Us.
stop making The Last of Us. Like,
Yes, please
Aloy
God,
would have been a
stop.
cool character if she had like 3 or 4 games that were actually like, you know, fully like in that world and interesting, and like things go places or whatever. Like, you got to let that marinate. The reason people like your IP, like Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter and all this shit, is because you let those series breathe and happen and gain an audience and create like a nostalgia for them. Nobody gives a fuck about Horizon. Even if the games are good, even if they like those games, like nobody gives a fuck about those games enough to be like, ah, yes, I'll play the whatever the Genshin Impact clone with Horizon people in it. And it's like, what are you doing?
It's just amazing to see, like, and Nintendo has its own problems. I'm not about to
Sure.
say that Nintendo's perfect, but like the trajectory of Sony versus Nintendo, who like Nintendo has really embraced its IP back catalog,
Yes.
and also on top of that created new IPs like Splatoon, and even like ARMS or something. You know, like ARMS was
They gotta
not a
bring
huge
ARMS
success,
back.
but
I demand they bring ARMS back. They did ARMS dirty.
it's just,
Yeah, because they made
Is
it
ARMS
bad.
good?
I like ARMS.
ARMS
It was
ARMS
this,
is
yeah.
ARMS is a fine game, but the concept is very good. Like the general like premise and like the character designs are really fucking good. And like an ARMS 2 would probably be incredible. in
Yeah, it
my
was
opinion.
very much one of those games where you're like, this is a cool idea, but a second game could be really good.
See, I can't describe what happened with ARMS, but I played the demo and the beta and I really liked it. And they changed the balance of like almost everything in small ways before launch. And then it like I was just like, this is bad now. I don't know what the fuck you guys did. And then I just never stuck with it.
Yeah.
So But like it's a new idea. Like it really sucks that like Nintendo literally has no competition in terms of like creative output because they're the only one making fucking games. Like I don't want to only champion one company, especially when they're also kind of evil.
Yeah.
But they're the only people making games.
Yeah, and committing to like a depth of catalog. Like,
Yes.
you know, you got Fire Emblem games, you got Splatoon games, you got Mario games, you got Zelda games. You have this real depth of games and of things that you can play, and it means that like anyone can buy a Switch and find something that they like.
And
yeah, like there's first party options.
And Sony has that, which is bizarre. Sony has the IPs to do that.
Yeah.
But they just don't do that. They don't spend time creating that for their consoles. And it's like it feels like they're marketing towards one very specific audience, thinking that audience is the only audience they need to worry about. When in reality,
they want to be the HBO of video games so bad.
Yeah, and it's like you can't do that because that's not how you make money in the video game industry.
Yeah, and even like I like Insomniac Spider-Man a lot, but like I only want so many like big budget cinematic action games, you know? Like
yeah. Like that was the one big budget cinematic Sony game that I opted into. That was Spider-Man. And then I dropped I haven't gotten back to Miles Morales, but I never picked up Spider-Man 2 because I was just like it's gonna be more of the Spider-Man.
And that's how I felt about God of War Ragnarok.
It was less of that.
Like I liked God of War Reboot, and then I hit Ragnarok and I was like, this is not doing it for me. I really do not like Ragnarok.
When I found out that Ragnarok is like pretty much
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go, Kaz.
I can only suffer so much of the same thing, which is like all Sony really does at this point with its AAA IPs are like a sad dad game or cinematic game, and there's really like nothing in between.
Cinematic revenge game.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like it's so fucking boring. Like you need to give us some variety in terms of how you want to present something.
That's why Astro Bot was such a thing, because it was like, oh my God, we haven't gotten a Sony game like this in forever.
Something that's colorful and like isn't, I don't know, having fucking the most toxic men in video games lionize in their fucking behavior and dog shit narratives. I'm sorry, I'm not very kind to these games because I don't like them, but I also think Dad of Boy is probably, I don't know, I don't think God of War is a series worth playing nor redeeming, and I think The Last of Us is just pure propaganda and just, I don't know, man.
I was surprised by how many people were like,
to be HBO.
They announced those the God of War remakes, and I saw so many people like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm like, I don't want to go play those games again, to be honest.
No, I don't think anybody remembers how fucking gross those games were.
Yeah.
Those games are a product of their time, like, for sure.
But if you did want to play them again, they have 3 really high
remastered
quality
twice,
Bluepoint remasters? Didn't Bluepoint make those?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots.
I don't know.
Not the people. I don't care what the people think. It's just Sony.
It's so weird to me, and I hate to give him credit because in my later years I've kind of like subjected him to hack fraud status a little bit, or like very antiquated mindset. Shigeru Miyamoto being a guy who insists that new games out of Nintendo should have some sort of new approach. Like even if you make a sequel, it's got to have like a different approach. Like it's got to be something unique to that specific game. As much as I hate it in regards to it results in we never get anything. We never get anything new. You know, we never ever get like another thing in that IP that like I would want to see more of.
Star Fox.
Yeah, or we get a Star Fox. Or we get a what is it? Star Fox ground. What was
Star
the
Fox
newest
Zero?
one? Was it Star Fox Zero the one Platinum did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it is.
Star
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Star
like
Fox
so like either
Guard. That was the
yeah.
weird one.
Oh yeah, that was the one where he was like, it's a tower defense game in
Yeah.
the Star Fox universe, and everybody was like, we don't want this Miyamoto. So like as much as I hate that approach universally, I feel like Sony needs to apply that approach at all. I think like you should definitely like when someone pitches a new game to you, or when you decide we're gonna what is it? We're going to it's not command. We're going to tell you to make a new game, right? Like one of your like missions, like one of your objectives, one of the criteria needs to be that the game should probably like function in some meaningful way differently from its predecessor. And I think like ironically Sony should be adopting that more. Yeah, like I just don't understand like the. Also, it's very funny that you say they want to be the HBO of the gaming industry when they stop selling TVs.
Mm.
So
I mean,
like,
it's a very similar thing to
well,
like
yeah.
Amazon Games has fallen apart too, and it's a similar thing where like Sony pivots to making live service games. It's like you can't make 10 games that do the same thing and appeal to the same players. Similarly to how Amazon Games is like you can't invest in 6 different MMOs that all have the same player base. Just like that's bad business. Period.
yeah, you're competing with yourself.
Amazon Games speed ran what NC Soft did,
Yeah,
and it was really funny
exactly.
to see that. But like really
Yeah.
sad.
There was I don't remember what game it was for, but I interviewed someone from Amazon Games at some point and I asked that question and PR was like, we're not going to answer that. Straight up.
I think I also asked them something similar as well, because I was like, with you supporting NC Soft IPs, like, do you understand like that's kind of the kiss of death?
Yeah.
Like that's not good.
It's so wild, and like it is bizarre truly every time we talk about these, where we just you almost want to believe that you're wrong, right? Like you almost want to believe that there's just something you don't know that if you knew would completely just overwrite like everything you just thought of, right? Like a Sony executive could walk in here and go, actually, if we don't do it this way, they will blow up Sony headquarters to smithereens.
They're
And
like,
so we
oh,
have to do
okay,
this.
it makes sense then.
It's like, oh, but like that's the only thing that would make sense to me. Like because
we're allergic to money. What do you mean? The material in the bills, we just don't like it.
Literally kill us.
Do you want us to die?
We are secretly an underwater group of people. We come to the surface to sell you video games.
We
But
are
your money
umbrella.
kills
We
us.
make more money on pharmaceuticals.
Wow,
Sony's like
this
the
is Umbrella
Atlanteans.
Corporation.
The Atlanteans are the ones that designed the original Famicom, didn't you know?
That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, that's honestly like, what else is there to say other than it seems so obvious to everyone else with boots on the ground, and it seems like the only people it's not obvious to are the C-suite executives who don't live in the real world.
I mean, everything Xbox, PlayStation, it all comes, it's mismanagement. That's what it is.
That's it. It
But
always comes down to the same thing.
the people who did the mismanagement are going to leave better than they came in.
Yep. That is modern business. That is what is considered being a good businessman in the modern age, because I don't know, nobody paid attention in economics. Which is not a complicated class, by the way.
Short-term games, baby.
No, but you see, Cosma, revenue minus costs equals profits.
That's so fucking crazy. Why didn't I think of that?
It's one of my favorite Northern Lion clips where he describes himself as Matt Damon's character in Good Will Hunting, and he goes, I'm just the janitor, and then I walk in after class and I look at the writing on the board, and I start looking at it, and I spend all night writing on the board and the solution, And then the next morning, the professor walks into a class full of people and he looks at the board and he says, who drew that? Who wrote that? Who solved the equation? And then in big bold letters across the entire whiteboard, it says revenue minus costs equal profit.
Can you send me that? Like, I've been on a Northern Lion kick lately. Like, that's been my like background work thing, just watching like compilations of him. And fuck, that sounds so good.
It's so fucking funny. But yeah,
Fucking with how shit my year has been so far, Northern Lion is keeping me sane. It's fucking he's so funny.
I kind of have to like watch a lot of his stuff every once in a while because he's insane, but he's like normal insane because he goes outside and has like a family and stuff.
Exactly.
And like it reminds me that it's
He has
like
a family?
no. He's a daughter.
Yeah, he's got a wife and daughter.
He's married and a kid. Yeah.
I'm happy for you, Northern Lion.
No,
Yeah.
you like actually like hear a bit about his like what he does when he's not streaming, and he's just a normal guy.
Yeah, he's straight.
Yeah.
He's a dude. Yeah.
Scarily well adjusted given how popular he is on the internet, and he's self-aware about that too. It's great.
Yeah. And that's why I watch him, because like he'll start talking about stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm not insane. And also like this normal person talking to me reminds me that like it calms me down. I'm like, oh, okay. It like rewires my brain to be normal. I like it.
Whenever
Anyway.
like I do some like doom scrolling and I see some people who can only communicate through like very terminally online terms on like Blue Sky or whatever, I'll like boot up a Northern Lion clip and he's just like, I was like, oh, this is a normal person. Okay.
I
can
think
go
what
back
it
to my
does,
day.
it also like keeps me in check because like sometimes he'll say shit and then like I catch a stray and I go, you're right, I should stop doing that. You're right, I shouldn't. like it's like, oh fuck, okay, good. Cause it's like one of those things where you're like, should I stop doing that? Is that something that's like is this weird? I feel like this is weird. And then he goes, yeah, it's weird. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Northern Lion. It's weird. But anyway, I'll send that clip to you now. I gotta go find it. Anyway, I don't think what else happened. There was something. Oh, I mean, Cosmo, do you want to? I don't know if you have opinions on the new Castlevania.
I think it's super cool that they're doing. I know it's not Sonia Belmont. It would be really cool if it was Sonia Belmont. It is not Sonia Belmont. I think, you know what? I hate that Netflix Castlevania series with every fiber of my being.
Hmm.
And I am a big proponent of a series, you know, can do whatever it needs to survive. But if it had to survive through that, I would sooner stab my fucking eyes in with my own thumbs, like that beautiful Slipknot song. I push my fingers into my eyes.
It's the only thing
but,
that slowly stops the ache.
Literally, oh my god, yeah, I quote that song all the time when I'm in like a state of like fucking emotional duress. But I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. I do like Dead Cells. It's weird because I actually play a lot of those sort of 2D platformers. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I do play a lot of those actually. I don't like the weight of Dead Cells by comparison to Castlevania, if that makes sense. There's a
Yes.
totally different kind of character weight in terms of platforming that I'm not super fond of. But if this gives us Castlevania games that are hopefully not linked to the Netflix series, I'll be really happy. I don't think that's the case, but you know what? This is better than them further besmirching Curse of Darkness, even though I do think, and this is my opinion, and everyone can say that I'm wrong, but I firmly believe that I'm right. I think, what's his name? Adi Shankar?
Oh yeah,
Adi
Adi Shankar.
Shankar.
Yeah.
Fox Cade's
Yeah,
nemesis.
I
Shout
think
out to Fox.
I think he would have done a fantastic job adapting the Lord of Shadow series.
Lords of
Yes,
Shadow.
that's totally fitting. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think it would have been Lords of Shadow. So, and I am a Lords of Shadow liker now because of Final Fantasy 16. So, you know
Of course.
what? Yeah, fucking awful game. But yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for it. I don't think I'll play it just because the character weight, and I'm not gonna have a lot of time for like the next year more than likely, if
You
not
could-
longer.
You could play it
Hopefully-
through me,
huh?
friend. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Cullen, I might
I'll
actually
feed
be
your
like, hey,
reactions.
yes, yeah. Like, I'll be like, hey, Cullen, what do you think about this? Can you stream some of it for me or whatever?
Of course,
because like
yeah.
I do really like Castlevania.
Hey man,
But-
you got something for me?
You got a little Vania? You got a little
You
Metroid?
play some Castlevania?
Castlevania.
Like, just
the
like
thing
5
is-
minutes. I don't got time to play a whole thing, but like I can watch you play.
I just a little hit.
Vania does
Little-
sound
just let
like
me see a
slang
whip.
for a drug, honestly.
Oh yeah, you got
Yeah.
that Vania?
Can you hit me with Sylvania?
See, like, I'm very particular about my Castlevania games of this style, and I really only like 2 of them. So, like, I'm just waiting to see.
What
like,
are the two?
it's
What are the two?
it's Aria and Symphony.
Mm.
Like and
Okay,
that doesn't
that's
mean
fair, yeah.
those are the only Castlevania games I like, but of the Metroidvania style, it's just those 2.
No, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Cullen, you're spared this week, but next week we'll see.
What do you mean that? What do you mean with that?
You'll see.
If
Wait.
Lords of Shadows has 1 concurrent player, it's Kazuma. If Lords of Shadows has 0 concurrent players, it's because Kazuma is playing Far Cry 3.
And if I'm not playing Far Cry 3, I'm playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
when my code for Requiem was on PS5 and it got me booting my PS5 back up and playing on my my TV again, and I'm like looking at the Far Cry 3 I bought and I was like, your time is soon. With that new 60 FPS update.
I really think you'll love it. I think you'll
Oh yeah, no.
I think you'll have a great time with it.
It's a matter of when, not
you're
if.
like a fucked up white boy. Well,
I do
so
love-
Cullen, this game was made for you.
I love my fucked up white boys. I
You're gonna
love
be
them so much.
quirked up by the end of it. And you love your girlfriend, so this is
Oh,
even
yeah.
better. This is gonna be a great experience for you.
I love wife guy freaks.
Similarly to
No,
Castlevania,
I mean you.
I know.
You love your girlfriend.
I like
So this will
me.
be great. Yeah. Okay, anyway, sorry. Hayes, you like Castlevania as well. Are you excited?
yeah, vaguely. I'm honestly more excited that Konami's making an anime-ass RPG again.
Oh, that,
Mhm.
yeah.
That Rev Noir game. Who knows if it's going to be good, but like, that's just kind of exciting to me.
Hey, it's a new game.
It's just a single player RPG. It doesn't have any bullshit attached.
That's where
to
we're
it.
at. No, it's like, I think it's like, no matter what quality that's going to be, we're getting a new game
Yeah,
in general. Not an IP, not a remake, not a re-release or remaster, just a new video game
yeah, and
by Konami.
man, it looks kind of Talesy, and I'm happy we're getting the Tales remasters, but like, man, I really need a new Tales game.
I don't know if I need a new one from because they're just gonna base it off of Arise, and Arise is dog shit.
I hope not. I hope they do something different with it. But
Unfortunately, it wasn't Arise like the best-selling Tales
It
game
was,
ever
yeah.
made. So,
by
like,
far, it's not even close.
that's why I'm not even gonna let myself get excited about a new
Tales traditionally
anything.
has not sold super well.
I think Konami has an opportunity.
what if the Slavers were people 2 video game? Trash, fucking garbage.
Wow, so just like Final Fantasy 16. Anyways,
I think it's so funny to me where I'm like, I have all these like intense opinions about like video games and what they're saying to people. And then I get excited when I'm like, to think there's so many more to get mad at that I haven't played yet. Anyway,
I'm not-
man.
I forget about the details of Arise, but it's like I'm very curious if you were to play that and see like basically them do the thing to RGG was like, hold my beer, I gotta go. I gotta do apologia for slavers.
dear RGG, I must apologize to you.
I
have
was not
found-
familiar
I
with your
have found
game.
an evil greater than the likes of you. I should not have been so hard on you. I should have acknowledged that there truly are greater evils in this world. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, and then just continue with the bit. So
Wait, hang on.
yeah.
On that note, aren't they teasing like a remake of Detroit Become Human or some shit like that.
Get the fuck out of here. No way.
There's something with that. I think
Liars.
they're
Yeah.
teasing.
Yeah, they're teasing something with Detroit.
Liars, you lie.
See, no, but
because Brian Deckhart's like teasing it on his fucking socials.
No.
Did you see that? There's a thing recently that like Detroit Become
They're gonna
Human sold like
Morbius it.
almost 1 million copies during the Steam Winter Sale.
No.
I'm
It
like,
also
How'd
sold
you
why?
gangbusters in China.
Why?
The Chinese love that game. I'm not kidding. The Chinese fucking love that game.
That
Well,
game is something
I
else.
would believe it. Like it has like has like that sleek aesthetic that I find a lot of like Chinese games want to have.
That's
I'm like,
not
that's-
why.
That game has one of the most
What
infuriating
is it?
plot twists I've ever seen in my life. Where like the whole
I'm
That
not
is-
gonna tell you why the Chinese like
the whole
it.
thing
You
with
can
Tara,
guess.
where you're like, oh, this android's taking care of the human girl, and it shows that humans and androids can get along. And then halfway through her story, it's like, oh, the girl's an android too. And you're like, what the fuck?
for what
That-
purpose?
That destroys your whole theme.
That
It-
makes it
yeah.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
That is one of their funniest video games.
Oh my god. there's-
As someone who thinks David Cage is one of the most evil guys on earth, those games are still like that. Okay, those games are the equivalent of the bad movie you put on with friends and you all get hammered while you like play. They're so
Yes,
trash, and I'm so bummed
Yeah.
we couldn't, because like, let's be real, that Star Wars game is never coming out. Like,
Oh, no.
we couldn't get the Star Wars version of that. Come on.
That trailer was sick, but that game was going to be garbage. Every time David Cage opens his mouth, you just kind of are reminded about how there's nothing in that man's brain, if that makes sense. Like, he says things and it's just like, wow, you have never had a critical thought in your life, have you? Or you think
That guy-
everything you think is profound.
That guy, like when I think of David Cage, I'm like, every person I've ever called a hack fraud should deserve an apology. Like, because I'm like, that's an actual, like, that is like textbook hack fraud.
It's really funny how the super best friends are probably the reason why their reputation's just in the gutter. Like,
I don't
obviously
even-
people still buy the games, but like, you can't like talk about those without like literally all I ever think of is I make the bad game. Like that
I make
is
it the
and,
bad
like,
game.
that is what the internet will remember them by.
I cannot do a real French accent to do like a funny David Cage voice because I just do the Matt McMuscles David Cage
Yeah.
voice where he's like, I am a David Cage, I make a bread and
I make the bad game.
I make the bad game.
I don't remember who it was, but I'll never forget the clip when Detroit came out of the streamers playing it. It might have been Game Grumps. Where they're like, oh, what? Is the robot going to get in the back of the bus? And then he
And
gets
it
in the
does.
back of the bus.
I think that was the best friends playthrough.
It might have been.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
best
okay.
friends. That's the two best friends. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it was Pat that said it.
Yeah.
And then it happened and all three of them just fucking burst out laughing.
That game is so bad. My favorite clip from Detroit Become Human is two people are playing it. It's like a guy and a girl, and they're like sitting there and like a cutscene ends and they're like, yeah, I'm not really getting like a themes of racism vibe from this game. Like, I don't really understand like why people are saying this game's about racism. Like, I don't really get it. And then it's the fucking like loading screen where the fucking loading screen robot says a quote and then goes, that quote was said by Martin Luther King Jr. and they look at each other and they go, well, we're stupid.
It's amazing too that's not even his most embarrassing game. Like Beyond
it's
Two Souls
definitely,
is worse, man.
Beyond Two Souls
Beyond
is
Two
oh,
Souls
God.
is so
Way
fucking
worse.
bad.
That is like Hall of Fame levels of awful. Like, everyone's always like, oh yeah, Heavy Rain's like the real so bad. No, Beyond Two Souls is the torment nexus of bad movie
I think
video
it's-
games.
I think it's wild that like I actually, in my experience, people tell me that Heavy Rain is the closest thing David Cage gets to like a decent like story, which isn't saying a lot. And that's
Compared
like
to everything else?
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, Omicron's not a fucking good game. Indigo Prophecy is
Indigo
definitely
Prophecy,
not.
yeah.
Good.
Oh,
With
no.
the ghost sex.
The fucking and then the fucking the
what?
spiders.
There's a sex scene.
No. What? The what?
Yeah, there's
The
a
ghost
sex scene
sex?
in Indigo Prophecy, and then you later learn that you're a ghost. So you had
Does she
sex
get
as a
pregnant
ghost.
with Ghost Baby?
No, but it's very weird.
Remember that they tried to do like a teaser for a second Beyond Two Souls game? And then that just never happened. And they were going to do like a post.
Elliot Page was
Can you
like,
believe
"Fuck no."
Willem Dafoe's in that game, man? Holy shit.
Oh, wait, that just reminds me. The fucking
photo?
iconic image of Willem Dafoe, Elliot Page, and David Cage, and David is the only one smiling.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling that shit up.
We should
I'm
go
literally
through one
trying
of
to
those
find it
games
too.
on stream for like a charity like thing sometime.
This is it.
Yeah,
We should.
no.
I mean, we should. Yeah,
This
I'm
is
down
it.
to play. We should play Beyond Two Souls. If there's anyone we're gonna play, it's got to be that.
I think actually we did a playthrough of Beyond Two Souls for charity. I think that's actually how I met Kaz.
Didn't the
As,
remaster of that game too have like a new mode where you can play through in the proper order of everything?
I think so.
You're like, that
Yes,
totally
because-
ruins your stupid story reveals.
Yeah. And it's because the fucking way that they did it originally didn't fucking work either. So they
Mhm.
thought by putting it in order, people would understand the story. And all it did was just make a even worse story somehow.
I want to play Omicron at some point, knowing that people say it's a bad game, but only because from what I've heard of that is the closest that they ever get to making like a real video game. Because isn't it kind of like immersive simi?
Yeah,
Yes, Omicron is like technically
It
an
is, and
immersive sim.
also, yeah, and also, David Bowie is there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
I want to
also-
play that on like an
yeah.
actual Dreamcast too. It seems like a fun like experiment.
It's also
But,
an
like-
incredible ImSim idea that somebody else should take and do, because the ImSim idea is that you can possess other people's bodies.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
do
it's cool
different stuff.
Yeah, because like when you die, right, you just like suck yourself in other people's bodies.
Yeah, you get stuck into something else.
Great phrasing.
Sorry,
Suck yourself.
All right.
So what happened to the body
Sorry, you
here?
gotta
Well,
slurp your way into somebody's body.
tell me what happened to the corpse. Well, sources say he died and then sucked himself and then died again.
Boss, you're never gonna believe it. Whole club of people, all pretzels.
Imagine if that's what you have to do so you can switch bodies.
They all,
and, like,
they
you
all,
have that
they all
power.
suck themselves, boss. Every single one. We've never seen anything like
Every
it.
time you die, there's a suck yourself mini game.
Oh, and it's like you have to like you have to go jump into another body to like progress, and it's just you actually just have to like have your character do that.
Omicron,
Then-
the sucked self soul.
David, like you're evil and your company is bad, but as I always say, hire us. We have the $1 billion ideas.
Just spend time with us. I guarantee you, not only will you get a better game, you will become a better person, David. I promise. You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll be like, oh my God, I understand.
We have to make a protagonist who sucks himself. Oh God.
Which celebrity actor gets that role?
Willem
Ryan
Dafoe.
Gosling.
Yo, best movie game ever made. I'm there. I'm just imagining that, like David Cage is like, this is the part where you suck yourself.
Explaining it in the mocap studio. Like, here's what I
Yeah,
need
it's
you to
like-
do.
And it's
You
like,
need to
so
pantomime yourself licking your crotch.
so you're gonna just CGI that it's like get to sucking. The cameras are rolling. Yeah.
Why do you think we put the little balls on your penis? Get going, or I will put your face on Nazi memorabilia.
They're so evil. I forgot. I love how they have so many documented cases of them being evil, and just you have hours and hours and hours of like evidence on this, and then Star Wars was like, yeah, sure, get them, and then immediately the backlash was so immense. They'd be like, we can never speak of this again.
Yes, you see, in this game, the bad guys all suck themselves. I wanted to get to portray the plight of the homophobe. It is terrifying. No.
Oh god.
Oh god. What game are they working? Oh, Spellcasters Chronicles
god,
is
it's
the next
yeah,
game
the
that's coming out.
multiplayer
Wait,
game.
what? They have a game
Yeah, it's
coming
like a
out that's not Star
multiplayer.
Wars?
It's like an
Oh, wait,
asymmetric
yeah.
multiplayer game with great
they're cooked.
great time to release
is
that.
Is that the Star Wars, like the squad game, or am I thinking of the tactics game?
Spellcaster Chronicles is something totally different. They
Oh,
had
This
it
comes out in
TwitchCon
4
when I was there.
days.
Are you serious? 4 days?
What?
4
Early
days?
access, 4
It
days.
comes out the same day as Resident Evil.
What's it called?
Spellcasters
Spellcaster
Chronicles. Oh yeah, 240 followers on Reddit. It's gonna be big.
A
It's
3v3
gonna be
third-person
huge.
actions. 3v3 third-person action strategy game.
Quantic
Free to
Dream
play.
SAS, more like Quantic Dream SOS.
Suck off
They
self.
actually had it at TwitchCon. So they had a tournament. They had a tournament at TwitchCon and nobody was there.
I knew
course
about this
nobody was
game, but
there.
I did not know it came out in 4 days. Holy shit.
Can you imagine if people were excited for this? I would be so disappointed.
Is that all they have coming out?
And Star Wars.
We haven't heard anything about that Star Wars game in like 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah, it's literally just Star Wars Eclipse and this thing, which is this Spellcasters game probably only exists to keep the lights on. And oh, buddy, get ready to develop in the dark because it's not doing
The
that.
first article
Why
I
do
ever
always-
wrote for Inverse was actually a report about the blackout Star Wars Eclipse thing.
Why do we always crack up when we
A
talk
what?
about the French?
They had
Oh,
when
you know.
when they announced Star Wars Eclipse, there's that big black backlash, because of like the LGBT stuff. Trying to remember.
Because the studio's evil.
What? As in like hashtag blackout or what?
Yeah, it was hashtag Blackout Star Wars Eclipse. It was a fan campaign. Where
Like
a
a
lot of
boycott?
people were boycotting like Quantic Dream's involvement because of their previous very shitty stuff
Yes.
with LGBTQ anything.
Yeah. They were boycotting it, and then I think like that killed the momentum of the game's like marketing
Yeah.
at its official announcement, initial announcement rather.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
Good job, everybody. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everybody that boycotted that thing and like made it disappear into dust. I do
Bullying
not
works.
want David Cage to touch Star Wars ever.
Well, actually, I don't. They're good match for each other.
It was
now.
especially bad because it was supposed to be set in the High Republic, which is very like LGBTQ friendly.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so like that's whatever something Shand, right? Barilla. I don't know Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Old Republic.
The
Old
lady-
Republic.
Old Republic's the
is
BioWare
lead up-
stuff.
Yeah, and that's the lead up
Yeah.
to like timeline wise. After Old Republic, I believe it's High Republic, and then you get the
Oh,
fall
that-
of the High
That would
Republic.
have been crazy.
I-
Quantic Dreams fucking up Star Wars would have been insane. Oh my god.
I want it.
Yeah.
I want it so bad.
High
Yeah,
Republic
Disney.
was created by Disney. That's like the
Yeah.
Disney exclusive era.
yeah.
Please make
It's like the
game.
utopian era of Star Wars, which is like, in my opinion, not a
Me game.
terrifically interesting.
Yeah, some of the
You want
some
game.
books are good. Not all of them,
Mhm.
but some. Of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Me want bad game.
I knew that's what this was. I
So,
knew you were just like,
the
oh, we could have gotten
website-
trash.
The website's still up, by the way.
It's still
There is-
technically in development.
you know, you gotta keep appearances up.
Yeah. But
Grab free digital goodies from Star Wars Eclipse. That's crazy.
What?
yeah, it's like, okay. At first I got excited about that too, because I was like, oh, please tell me you did NFTs. I just didn't update the website. But no, it's like a zip and you download like
Why does this
wallpapers or
website?
some bullshit.
The website has a picture from Attack of the Clones.
Oh, you know.
No, that's actually CGI footage from the trailer.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's
It
the
looks
High
like it's
Republic
from
era.
Attack of the Clones, which I guess is kind of
They have the
telling that I thought it was from Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean they have the C3PO. They have the gay robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So funny.
I don't know anything about Star Wars like that, so
I'm
So just so you know,
pretty well
Cosima,
knowing of Star
the
Wars.
main antagonists of the High Republic are nihilists.
Yeah.
They're
like Darth Nihilist.
they're literally called the Nihil. Nihil. They're nihilists. They're like Vikings.
You know, I have to give Star Wars one thing. It isn't fucking subtle.
It's basically a retelling of the Big
appreciate
Lebowski
that.
when you think about it.
That's true.
The
That's 100% true.
Under game information on the Eclipse website, there's a big section that says choices have consequences.
Do they?
yeah, there's a woman from the Star Wars Old Republic in this.
It's a descendant of Bastila.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
why I thought her name was Barilla.
So
I even played the Old Republic.
So like
Isn't
it's the Old
Barilla
Republic,
like a
and then like about 200 years
kitchen
later, you
sponge?
get the MMO, the Old Republic, and then the fall of the Old Republic happens at some point in the 300 years between the MMO and the era that Disney wanted to make stories in. It's post Old Republic, basically.
Yeah, and outside of
okay.
the Acolyte, the only thing we've gotten in High Republic is books and graphic novels.
Yeah. Which, like, you know, shout out to those folks. It varies, you know,
Yeah.
as these things tend to do. But like, y'all gotta check out some of those like Star Wars like graphic novels and stuff. Like
There's some good
the Darth
stuff,
Vader
man.
ones are pretty good.
Dr.
Not
Aphra
just
is
the High
really
Republic
good.
one. Mm-hmm. You know which one I want to read? I want to read what's it called, Thrawn? The books about
The Thrawn books are really good.
Yeah, like I really want to read those because everybody says those are like excellent.
They're really
yeah.
good because they're an examination of like race and like what it means to be like an ethnic minority in like a fascist authoritarian empire, right?
A lot of the best Star Wars stuff is in books, and that's like pre and post Disney.
Yeah. I super agree. I heard some decent things about the actual the tie-in book for the Old Republic MMO that they put out right before the game came out. That one is apparently really good because it features the Old Republic like 1 and 2 characters and how like their stories kind of like combine and like the conclusions of that create the implications for like the underlying like major story in the Old Republic MMO. I want to check that one out too. Because there's characters in the MMO that are from that book.
Yeah.
Which is sick. But yeah. Oh god, that was such a good laugh about David Cage. Jesus goodness gracious.
That's got to be one of our finest bits to date.
It's you can't get me talking about French people. I'm so sorry to all the French people. You sound like very like I just like the way you sound, I promise, but like because I like the way you sound, I like making you say silly things. You're allowed to do it to me, it's fine. Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else? I was going to talk about like stuff I played, but I feel like we kind of had a really nice podcast just focused on like stuff going on. So I don't want to like just digress into that necessarily. I will say that this is this is somewhat relevant to current events. I did play the prologue to Romeo is a Dead Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
man, that's for me.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's
my first. This is my first Suda 51 game. I
Oh,
should point that
really?
out. I've
That's
never
a-
played a Suda 51 game before Romeo is a Dead Man, and I played it and
that's
I went, yeah.
That's a Zine-ass video game. I don't know how else to put it. That's
A fucking zine ass game.
Zine, yep. I just, yep.
I love the. I think it's like I know too much about how video games get made, so I can see where they like decided to do certain things to save money. But I like that when you the thing that I know that Suda does is that when he has to save money in places, he does things in a stylish way that actually like adds to the experience as opposed to feeling like a hindrance or like a stark contrast to the rest of the game.
Yeah. I've always
to the
liked
point where,
that,
like-
like, Suda
Yeah.
games, they're video game ass games. Like, you can feel
Yes.
that they're video games, and that's one of the things that I like about them.
Yeah, and because they're always so stylish, he can blend the big budget part components with the smaller budget components in really like seamless ways. And I think that's like one of the reasons why this is like attracting me so much, where like it doesn't come across to me as like, oh, I play a lot of games where like I feel like, oh, you ran out of money. This is like, no, you had X amount of dollars and you know exactly where every single one of those dollars was gonna go.
I saw a
And
clip.
then you built the game that way.
I saw a clip from an interview with Suda recently that was funny. He was talking about developers and designers that work at Grasshopper. And he's like, unfortunately, sometimes designers feel like they have to come up with like really weird or crazy ideas, or Suda won't approve them. So people are just like feel pressure to come up with really weird stuff that has never been seen before.
Yeah.
How does Suda feel about that? Do we know?
He talked about it in a way that he was like, I feel like people think there's more pressure than there actually should be from me. That's kind of the
I think they
vibe that I
wanna-
got from it.
They want to make him happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, and so they don't want him to say no to an idea. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, Romeo's a Dead Man's good. I think that's it. I was going to talk about the Star Trek Voyager game because it's actually really neat. It's way neater than I thought it was originally, but I'll wait until next episode when I've got more time into it to talk about it
Okay.
and whatnot. Yeah.
You want us to go on the
Also-
questions?
Yeah, let's just dive in.
Cause maybe next time we can talk a bit about Gone Girl.
I would love to talk about the goodbye girl with you because I am so much happier now that I'm dead. I'll actually let you guys handle questions because Jake and I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you guys go ahead and answer them without me.
Okay.
Because we gotta eat. It's like 9:30 right now. But GC can probably answer the RGG question. No, actually, no, he can't. But anyways, enjoy the questions, you guys, and I'll be here for the next recording.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
All right, bye.
Alrighty. So questions. So first one is from Exy. Since RGG is collapsing, I want to hear about the opposite. When was the last time a series you written off a long time ago had a comeback that got you back in? I'm trying to think of my recent we're so back moments. We were just talking about Romeo. I kind of think that as like a iteration or expansion on No More Heroes 3, like it did make me think we're so back. But I feel like that's too easy.
Have
We
an
used to have
answer.
Castlevania. The new Castlevania looks cool. Like, I don't know.
I can give you one.
Okay. I'll think of
Dynasty
one.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh God, Origins is so good. I gotta go
Origins
back
is so
to it.
good, and Dynasty Warriors 9 is so bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Mine is Armored Core 6.
Yeah. A lot of the Armored Core games, very good games,
Yeah.
by the way. But
Which is like,
you know,
it's not like Armored Core got bad. It just like kind of went away.
stopped.
Yeah, because of Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
Yeah, I agree. Another one for me, Digimon games. A lot of Digimon just
yeah.
as
That's
a
a good one.
franchise. I know there's a lot of like Digimon fans out there that are like diehard, dyed in the wool Digimon fans who like have never left the series. I used to be interested in Digimon. I used to play it, and then they lost me. Because I stopped liking their like more action oriented games, and then like Cyber Sleuth was kind of just like okay, and I was like, and then I played Time Stranger, and I'm like, yes, that's it, that's the one. I gotta go back and play more Time Stranger. Actually, I might do that today.
Monster Hunter Stories 3 made me remember why I like Monster Hunter, when Wilds
Yeah.
made me think I hated Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
That demo is really good.
I gotta play through those games because I was always interested in the stories 1 and 2, even though I know they're like, you know, very casual. But another one that's not about a company specifically or a franchise, but about a genre, Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon has revived my interest in I don't like calling them this, but that's like how I grew up calling them, like Western CRP, like 3D CRPGs is a better way of putting it. 3D CRPGs. Tainted Grail, because Fallout 4 fucking sucked. It was middling. Starfield fucking sucked. And then like I played a couple other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've all been, with the exception of Bethesda and now including Bethesda, a lot of those 3D CRPGs have just been fucking awful. Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon is like a reminder of like what that genre can do and like how fun they can be. So that was that for me as well.
It's kind of, I don't know that it got me totally back in, but I liked Assassin's Creed Shadows. It still has
yeah.
it still has problems. It still has things I don't like. But after Valhalla, which I absolutely hate, I cannot stand that game.
I'm playing through it right now, Hayes. This game's insufferable.
It's a miserable experience, honestly.
Why is it a Vinland Saga? I'm so pissed. I wanted to stay in the cold. Whatever.
The frustrating thing about Valhalla is that you play 140 hours of that game, and like 80 hours in, you get to one of the regions that has an actual good story, and you do that, and you're like, that was actually good. And then you go back to dog shit stories, and you're like, this. Why is it like this? But Shadows, I think, it gave me a feeling of having hope that Assassin's Creed like might move forward in an interesting way. I wouldn't say like I'm all on board for the next Assassin's Creed game, but I have a little bit of hope that they might be able to pull something out, you know?
You're paying for admission next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I like Shadows a lot. Actually, you know what? In the same vein, I know what mine is. Star Wars Outlaws. For Star Wars.
Yes.
Outlaws is,
Did you finish it yet?
No, not yet. But
oh, come on!
I got all these games to play.
I will never not be frustrated with the review period for that game, where they gave us literally 3 days.
Yep. Yeah, that game. What wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
What a great game. What a fantastic fucking game.
Right.
I think
anything else?
There's bound to be more, but like there's I guess the point that we're kind of making is like, yeah, there's like plenty of moments where that happens, you know.
Everyone's kind of on a downturn right now though, so it's like I don't really got
a lot of things are, yeah.
I'm kind of dooming about all my my hobbies right now, so nothing to enjoy. All right. Bram asks, do you think dogshit Unreal Engine 5 TA artifacting will become the nostalgic style look for games in 20 to 30 years, the same way that PS1 texture wrapping has with some indie games? Also, what are some of our favorite graphical glitches or weird technical visuals specific to certain games / eras of games? I'm gonna grab this one as the guy who actually thinks that like PS3 era, that like, you know, of the like high bloom and like sharp yellow colors is a very like, it is a visual style I enjoy actually quite a lot. That very glossy like graphical styling. I fucking adore the PS3 era of games. I almost want to say no, because there's no real visual style to come from most of like the games like this, because they're kind of just doing in-engine like default lighting and ray tracing. So I don't think anyone's gonna be like fondly remembering this as like a style, the way that like there is a distinct visual style of like PS1, PS2, PS3, and to an extent PS4. Because PS5 is just like more.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's more.
Everyone's
we
just
also got lazier
striving
with
for
lighting.
like photorealism in different ways.
Well, yeah. That's actually what I was gonna say. Is the PS3, Xbox 360 era was like the first foray into like true blue photorealism, right? So it still has some of like a lot of the people working on those games still had like a sense of like, oh, we need an art style. We need like art direction. We need like a concept and like a way this is going to look intentionally.
Even like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is one of the first games where people said photorealism, but it still has a style to it.
Yes. And there's style also born from hardware limitations. And I think that's why you get some of like the weird quirks of that era. Because a lot of people were also still just learning the tech.
And nowadays you have the diminishing returns of photorealism, which is like, you know, the PS4 and the PS5 don't really have like distinct visual identities because it's just sort of refining what the PS3 did, but in the same breath, removing and stripping that style away from it. So like the closer we get to realism, the less memorable it gets, because that's just what real life looks like.
And if we're specifically talking about Unreal 5, I cannot think of a bigger like visual and stylistic downgrade from 4. It is literally there. The style is again just turn ray tracing on, game run bad.
I think
and that's why go ahead.
I think it is funny that like I know they're doing it for like workflow reasons, but like the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, they're like, no, we're not going to upgrade to 5. We're just going to stay with Unreal 4.
They're so smart. Yeah. They're so fucking smart. God, I'm thinking of the dog shit. Like, well, actually, no, it's not like I'm being grumpy. Like I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta right now. I actually don't hate it. I actually don't hate how it looks. But even then you do get some uncanny valley stuff with like how it renders the faces and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so did you turn on the legacy filter, by the way?
I had to.
Okay.
I had to. It
looks really good with the legacy filter on. I'm not gonna lie. I like it.
It doesn't solve all the problems, but you got it. You got it right.
I don't think that remake actually looks as bad as like a lot of people make it out to be honest. Like I think that's a rare example of like somebody using UE5 in like as good of a way as they can do it, because that engine fucking sucks. Shout out to everybody that works in UE5. I've seen the workflow process. It fucking sucks. What do you mean you fucking code with strings and blocks? Fuck that. Literal, like you noodle. Ugh, it's gross. I don't like it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess the second part of that question, yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, you're right.
Favorite graphical glitches or weird technical visuals? I can do one right now. I have it right now, like immediately.
Sure.
I forget what it's called. But it is a technique that when you program a model in a video game to have their feet magnetized to stairs so that the walking upstairs animation looks natural and like they're actually stepping on it, where like when a character has like their leg on a stair but they're not moving and like they're not quite on it, so it doesn't magnetize quite well, so the leg starts wiggling and it looks like they're doing the stanky leg.
Uncharted did that a bit. Yeah,
that's my favorite one. You can do it in Dark Souls. If you like one of the Dark Souls games, you run up to the bonfire. If you put your character at like a specific angle, they'll try to like step on the top of the bonfire sword and they'll just like do a little dance. It's my favorite one.
I kind of like the like kind of horrifying disappearing faces of like the previous generation. Especially I think of like Assassin's Creed Unity was the one where that happened a lot.
Yeah.
The disappearing map.
Yeah. You just see the eyeballs and the teeth. I kind of like it. Yeah.
A friend of mine was playing Romeo before the latest patch, and it like some glitch happened and it made Romeo green. So Romeo's green man is pretty good. I don't really notice too many glitches.
You're the greenest person ever.
Green for an amazing reason. All right. Lastly, this is a question for Hayes that I will probably chime in on because I'm an evil bastard. Dumb Bitch Disease asks, Hayes, last episode you mentioned you liked G-Quux. Can I ask you to expand on that?
Yeah, I guess I didn't quantify that in any way, right? Like I just said, I like it. My overall feeling is like, I wouldn't say love or anything. I think it's a series that I overall think had good ideas that aren't really capitalized on a lot. Particularly, I like Machu a lot as a protagonist. I think she's really good, and I think she has a compelling arc, even though that arc is not given the room it needs to breathe. I think that's the biggest problem with G-Quux is that it just simply needed more episodes. I think so much of like a lot of what makes Gundam tick is really complex character work. And it's just really hard to do that in such a tight episode count. That's why my favorite Gundam series are the really long ones, like Gundam Wing or Gundam 00, that have these chances to have really compelling, drawn-out character arcs. And I just think that G-Quux had the foundation for that, and I can see the foundation for that, and that's what part of what I like about it. And I just wish it had had the chance to build on that more. But outside of that, I do really like the animation style as well. I'm a big fan of mecha anime, especially that uses the 3D CG when it's done well, especially. And I think G-Quux uses 3D CG really well. So I like a lot of the animation. And I like a lot of the choreographing of the mobile suit fights and things like that. So that quantifies it a little more, where like I like parts about it. I overall think it has a lot of flaws that could have been fixed in various ways. But that's what I meant when I said I like it. Kind of how I feel about RE9. Like I like it, but
I think for me, it's where all of the premise, like I held on to that hope because of all of the like great ideas.
Yeah.
And then when I see that they didn't do anything with them, I was like, okay, no, this is just bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I get that.
well, it's like with Machu. And again, I'm not saying you can't think this. I'm just chiming in because I was like, Machu's such a great protagonist. I can't wait for them to do anything with her. And then Hideaki Anno laughs at me and says, no, I'm a fucking idiot. Why would I do anything?
And again, I think where that higher episode count could have helped, because you get more time to let these characters breathe, and you don't have to hit. That's the big problem, is you have to hit the resolution, you know? So like, just when the characters are starting to breathe, it's like, oh, well, we got to wrap it up. So.
And I wouldn't even like care that Machu has no conclusion to an arc. If there were more times, because that could have been a like creative choice to leave her like, you know, her story kind of open. But no, I just kind of like I end that off being like, wait a second, Machu doesn't have an arc, and Machu is not a character because she does not have time to like do anything, and her show is stolen from her so that they can do a nostalgia thing.
I unfortunately didn't have time to like really talk to him about it, but when I interviewed Suda, like he kind of implied that he really liked G-Quux, and I really wish I'd had time to ask him more about why he likes it.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But like God, that shit makes, because the thing is like with RE9, I'm like, oh, RE9 fun, RE9 cool and interesting, and G-Quux is like, hey, what if I killed something you loved in front of you slowly and drained it of all its blood? And I'm like, you didn't need to do all that.
I will say I do like Witch from Mercury quite a bit. And I think
need to finish that.
I think that is the example of like a shorter Gundam story, but still had the time to like kind of breathe and expound on it.
Yeah.
I also really like the Witch from Mercury team. Like I like Bandai trying to do their like oh no, they're just really good friends. And then the Witch from Mercury team puts out an art book and is like, no, they're fucking married. Like, get over it.
The cool thing about like Witch from Mercury is that it's something new. Like it's, and that's what, like, while, you know, initially I was bummed that like, oh, G-Quux is like an AU, but like I like AUs well enough, and they were looking like, I went to the fucking theater for that. I loved those first like compiled episodes, and it's just like it's just because if you like actually like if you listen to like interviews with that, it like you start to not get a feeling that it's like, oh, these guys got screwed over and they didn't have time. It's like, oh no, this is kind of what they wanted to do. And it's like, what are you talking about? How is this what you wanted to do? And it comes off as extremely half-baked and like,
I do think it's also weird they sold it as like this introduction to Gundam when it's actually like, I can't imagine watching that show and not knowing events of the original Gundam. Like
that second half doesn't work.
It would mean nothing
like, at all.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends fucking fell for it, and that was his first Gundam thing, and he was like,
"It's a terrible." Terrible.
Yeah, he was like, "I understand that it was supposed to be nostalgia bait garbage at the end, but I did not get any of it. So all the cool like new stuff I liked, and all the like G-Quux characters just got shafted for nothing." And even though he did not know anything about Gundam, he was able to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a case. Pool, it's a show that has like a very good first half and a not so good second half.
Rug pulls can either be satisfying or unsatisfying, and if you fucking if you don't do it well, or if you kind of like lean too hard into one thing to make the rug pull more shocking, you can just end up completely alienating whoever's watching. You know?
That said, I like as a Gundam fan, I am overall happy with like the series' willingness to experiment, and like G-Quux,
sure,
it still experiments in certain ways. All of it doesn't work, but like, you know, we have G-Quux and we have Witch from Mercury and Hathaway, and like I really appreciate
Gundam.
Yeah, I really appreciate that Gundam's willing to go back and do different things, even with its like legacy series and characters.
Grandpa, G Gundam's been off the air for 30 years.
It counts.
Oh no. Shining finger. I'm shining fingering this conversation out.
I never want to hear you say shining finger with your old man voice ever again.
Shining finger. Okay.
You put your fingers away, and I don't want to know why it's shining.
Smell this. Grandpa, no.
But yeah, like I also kind of like it when Gundam sort of like experiments.
I hate UC. I love UC. I hate going back to UC. New experiment, please.
Well, like you can do UC, but like stop like being obsessed with like with the fact that there's a timeline, I guess is like my thing.
That's kind of what I like about Hathaway, honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, because Hathaway is like going back to UC, but it feels fresh, and more importantly, it feels like it doesn't feel like a bastardization of those original ideas, because it's written by the original creator, who was literally trying to be like, hey, wait, let's just do some new shit.
And that's so bizarre to me, where it's like some people get the opportunity to like work in UC, right? And like they feel a need to like reestablish to the audience important things about UC that Tomino never bothers to do, either A, because he knows the audience already probably knows it, or two, he is writing a story that is not like crucially related to past events. And like I think Hathaway's Flash is like a great example of like, this is very closely related, right? But like you don't need to have seen any of the other Gundams to like understand that there is a conflict and stuff is happening. And like, granted, Hathaway is inspired by like previous characters, and then you get to those callbacks, right, in that movie. But like, as someone who's never seen the original Gundam, I got the gist. Like, I didn't need you to like give me a whole
10-minute primer on who Bright Noah is.
I
To be-
don't fucking need to know that, right? Like exactly. Like I just need to know that something happened before and this character is deeply motivated by those events.
I think the one thing you miss out on is new types.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
there is a lot going on with new types under the surface of those. If only like to understand your main characters.
But I think
but like I do ultimately
Mhm.
agree.
And I think Tomino does a good job sort of explaining to people what a new type is within the context of like the stories he is telling in UC that are like not direct sequels to each other. Like, okay, the original series, and then you have you know, all the ones that are literally about the same fucking people, right? But then like you get to like, I don't know, Victory Gundam or sorry, Victory Gundam or what was the other one we watched or we were watching?
Requiem for Vengeance.
Unicorn.
Oh,
Sorry, not
Unicorn.
Unicorn.
More like Punicorn.
What was the? I can't fucking remember.
Was it a movie?
No, it's like another Tomino Gundam series that takes place in UC, but I can't remember what the fuck it was.
I mean,
Not
I don't.
Burnout
It's really
Gundam.
just.
Was it?
Turning is
no,
in
we-
UC, no, right?
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
complicated.
but like,
well, no, fuck it, I can't. I think the only other thing I could think of is F91.
Are you talking about
Okay,
the
that's a movie.
Netflix series Requiem for Vengeance?
no,
Oh.
No,
That's not Tomino.
DC's thinking of a Tomino thing, but like it's really only 0079, Zeta, Double Zeta, and then Victory.
oh, okay. But like, my point is like, Tomino's idea of what a new type is and how he wants to describe that evolves as he continues to like make stuff in the UC continuity. And so like even if you don't have all the information, right? You at least get like his current way of describing what a new type is, right? And you can tell that there's other stuff about it, right? But you don't necessarily need all of it. Like you're right, you do miss out on some of that stuff, but like you don't need it. Like you don't like truly miss out on the core like conceit of whatever he's making. Whereas like when somebody else comes in with UC, like Unicorns in fucking UC, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, no, we have to like, you don't know what a new type is, and like this is what we think it is, and this is what we think this is, and there's just no like effort to like do something original or do something like just thoughtful of its legacy. It's either about entirely the legacy or it's trying to like rewrite the things that have been established. And it's so weird to me. Like just stop calling back to it. I don't know. Every time Gundam like calls back to itself in like a really like hokey way, I roll my eyes and I'm like, I don't give a shit about any of this.
That makes sense.
Fucking Uso, kill that guy, you know? Like
Yeah.
kill
That's
that
why I'm
guy
glad
without
that, like-
killing that guy and then tell him it's his fault.
God, I want to watch more Victory Gundam. That shit's so good.
Victory is really good.
When you watch a 15-year-old boy fucking
I like Turne a lot
basically
as well.
lead a man to his death and he's like, that was your fault. I didn't do that. I didn't kill you.
Turne's that like the one everyone's like, this is the one that'll change your life. I've only seen a couple episodes of it. I'm waiting for like the right time to like truly just sit down and go through all of it. My girlfriend and I started it, but we just need to
Oh,
get back.
GC,
My girl.
you were probably talking about Reconquista in G, weren't you?
No, we haven't
That
showed
might
him
have
that.
been it. But like I'm talking about, I was trying to just name Tomino series that take place in UC. But maybe I'm off base.
But yeah, I gotta just smoke Turne. I know that show will change my life forever. But I'm like, I want to finish Victory, and then I've rewatched in Zeta, and I'm like, I gotta do 0079 proper because I've only ever done the movies. It's just like Turne will be there. Turne is always gonna be there, and I know that shit will just fucking change my life. But anything else we want to add? Is that a podcast?
I think so.
Are we
That's a
free?
podcast.
We're free. Yay!
Yes, you're free. You're free to go do whatever it is you people do on Sundays.
I gotta go be
Church,
sick.
maybe.
I'm literally just as soon as like we got off this call, I'm just gonna take a shower and then be sick for the rest of the day.
That's awesome.
That works.
I mean, I gotta write port reviews for RE7 and 8, so that's not gonna be the most fun.
Yes,
But
I gotta go write
yeah.
a review too.
yeah.
I've
Oh, then I guess I gotta go back to Requiem.
Nothing.
What's funny is by the time this episode comes out, I will have I probably will have already beaten Requiem. So who knows? This is a nice little time capsule. I'll be able to listen back to this and be like, wow, he had no idea what he was talking about, or wow, he was right about everything. But
All
yeah.
right. Well, folks, we'll catch you all later for another episode of Burnout Culture. Hopefully the industry will be a little less suck, but let's be honest, we're going through it and we're gonna keep going through it, but we'll come out of it. We'll persevere. Anyway, if you know where we are, then you know where we are. If you don't know where we are, well, now you do. Catch you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.